Well, good evening there. Come, sit by the fire and let us regale you with tales so sublime, so masterfully written that they make the works of such literary masters by the likes of Dickens and Chaucer, Kipling, Faulkner, and Hemingway look like mere children's scribblings. Pour yourself a nice glass of the finest brandy or chianti and enjoy the literary renaissance that is Horrible Horror Masterpiece Theater. What's up, Moongoons? Welcome to a very, very special episode of the Horrible Horror Podcast. The podcast where we watch the worst of the worst in horror movies. Movies so bad they're scary, but that is not the case today. No, sir! Today is very special. Today is Horrible Horror Masterpiece Theater. And you might be asking yourself, what is that? Well, here's the story. I wrangled up some of my friends. You all know them. They've all been on the show before. Our all-star cast. And we are going to read and reenact all the shitty, wonderful horror stories I wrote as a kid, starting in 3rd grade throughout high school. I thought this would be something fun to do. Some of these stories are going to be absolutely awful, but we're going to make them fun. We're going to have fun with this, and this is going to be something fun to try. So sit back and enjoy Masterpiece Theater. With that said, let's introduce our friends, our cast today, if you will. To my right, you know him, you love him, is Mr. Nachos McWerewolf. We have to hit the theme song for everybody, because we love everybody. Everybody gets a theme song. All right. I'm probably not going to play this whole thing. Where's that place? It is so tasty. So crunchy. All right, fade this out. Nachos McWerewolf is back.
How's everybody doing this Sunday afternoon, right?
That is correct. It is Sunday afternoon. He is here.
Back by unpopular demand. Loving that song, by the way.
Awesome. I'm glad you love it. Joining us is also all-star guest. We know her, you love her. The first lady of Horrible Horror, Miss Sarah Samples.
Oh.
Sarah, welcome.
Oh, hello. Hello, all. Oh, I'm so glad to be here for this Masterpiece Theater.
Indeed.
Moment.
Sitting next to her,
Awesome.
her loving husband,
Oh.
man of many talents, the manliest man I know,
Oh.
Mr. Chris Samples. This is Chris Samples' theme song, because I don't have one yet. This is Chris Samples' theme song. Chris Samples' theme song. Wow, 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 wow. So manly.
Off the cuff.
Thank you for that, Marshall. I do appreciate it, though. How's everybody doing?
Doing pretty good.
I hope you record that and then play it forever.
Go clip that back.
That's the official song. I will shit my pants, dude.
All right, I'll go back and clip that for later.
Yeah, let's hold on to that.
And finally, he's back.
I'm back.
Mr. Aaron Southworth is back in studio.
Is this Eric Bischoff's
This
entrance?
is Eric Bischoff.
It is, yeah.
And you not just get one, but I got 2 theme songs for you.
Oh, shit.
This is for the wrestling fans because, it's appropriate, and I wanted to play it. Now,
And I wanted to play it.
Yep.
It is your show. I guess
Now,
you can do what you
one
want.
that connects us to the show, that connects to the horror theme that we do here. Here's another one. Maybe you will recognize this. Maybe this gives a little shout back to.
can't hold that long.
Nope. So we're gonna enjoy this because this is a monumental occasion.
I can't. What was it? I can't do the Billy Eye. I can't hang that Billy Eye note. That's a tough one to do.
It is a tough one.
Sarah should know this song.
Oh, I know it. I know it so well.
Do you remember who performs it though? The actual name of the band?
That was a Jeopardy question.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorcery.
Oh, sorcery.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That was the band that did like on
He's
stage.
back.
They did like on stage battles of like Merlin and stuff.
That was
Attack! To pay, I'm back.
All right, we're gonna fade that. But that song cannot be played without the epic ending. And just for fun, enjoy the ending of that song
Oh.
because it's insane.
It's wild.
I would love to see Aaron try this.
No. You'll see me pass out. Well, I love how he just stops and takes breaths.
I feel like this dude's ears are bleeding while he's singing. Like his head's
Hold
about
on.
ready to
And it's still
explode.
going. It just keeps going.
Smoke is coming out.
I gotta go change my pants. This is too much.
There we go.
And that was his death scene. That was his death scene.
Yeah.
For the listeners and my ignorant ass, what movie is that from?
Rocktober Blood.
October Blood.
Oh shit, I gotta see that.
Oh, dude,
episode
it's
was-
You can only watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
What episode was that for the listeners? They can go back and watch.
I can look it up
We
real
can look
quick.
it up. Yeah,
That
I have an
couple-
episode list here somewhere.
A couple Novembers ago, I think.
Not to be biased, but that was a fun
It's in the
one, y'all.
hundreds.
Fun
It
listen.
is. Oh man, where is it? Hell Week. Okay, Rocktober Blood.
The Blood.
Oh man, where is that? Pledges, Dark Walker, Halloween,
That
Clown at
was
Midnight.
so good.
Episode 179.
170. I was in the 150s. There you go. All
179,
right, 179.
folks.
Yeah, episode 179.
Do yourselves a favor.
That's
That
right.
one was
It's
worth
a
it.
fun one.
That one was fun.
All right. So, with introductions out of the way, let's get going. Here's how this is going to work. We're going to pick a series of stories that I wrote. We're going to start with them. We're going to read through those. When we get to parts that actually have legitimate parts of dialogue, the dialogue will be played by our cast here. They will read various parts for various characters that were in these stories. We're going to start with the very simple series that I titled Haunted House, that was first written back in 1989 or 90 when I was in third grade,
Yeah.
somewhere around there. It depends on first half, or I think it was second half of third grade, so it could have been 1990. Part one has been lost to the ages, I think. I cannot find part one. So we're going to start with part two. We're going to read 2, 3, and 4, and then we're going to do a jump to part 12 where there's actually speaking parts for people. Not many, but that's where they really start more. And we will go through it that way. Yes.
I have an idea. What if you pay actual third graders to write the first part? Just kind of give them like clip notes.
I have a third grader.
There we go.
Oh, I don't know if you want. I mean, that might be good though.
You'll start seeing some pretty heavy influence of
Yeah.
Sarah and Chris. Like, no, dude.
Might be a lot
Do it
of
this way. Okay.
butt and fart jokes in there.
So for these first 3 stories, which are really short, they're only, like the longest one's like
I
a
know.
page and a quarter typed up, so they should go pretty quick. You will see the origins of my writing in third grade and where it started, and then as we move on through the other chapters and through other stories that I wrote in like junior high, early high school, they'll get more refined, but they're still all gonna be bad. But so the cast are gonna sit back and relax for the first part, drink, they can get their drinks on, start getting a little booze going through and make this more entertaining,
More palatable.
more palatable. Yeah,
I hope you're drinking at home too.
yes, drink at home.
Or on the job, or while
Wherever
we're
you're at.
operating.
Yeah.
You know.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Cut loose, pussies. Fuck.
All right, so here we go. Let's begin Horrible Horror Masterpiece Theater with Haunted House, Part 2. And action. The 4 boys from one part are okay. Let me say this first. I transcribed these from my handwritten notebooks I found.
We can fix that in post, right?
I did not change any grammar. So it's written as I wrote as a third grader. The only thing I changed was spelling to make it actually readable for you guys and myself, because my spelling was atrocious in third grade.
It's not much better now.
It's not much better, but it's better. So, yeah, the grammar was not changed at all from the originals. So let's start this over. The 4 boys from the one part are back with some more friends to kill the ghost. And the 6 boys found the house, and the boys found some weapons they used to kill the ghosts with. They went into the house. They're going to sleep in the house so they can kill the ghost. But the fat boy got up and went to the kitchen to get something to eat. But the peanut butter jar was empty, and he got sucked into it. And the skinny kid, you as thin as a pencil, he got up and went to the laundry room to wash his clothes. But the washer was broken, and he got sucked into the washer. Whoa. You'll see a pattern.
The pattern emerges.
The 4 boys were still asleep, but one boy got up and walked to the family room to watch some TV. But the TV was broken. You want to guess what happens?
He got sucked into
the TV.
He
got sucked into the TV.
He sucked the TV. No, damn it.
Then the 3 boys got up, but a trap door opened and they fell. Then the dust cleared and the boys saw 6 ghosts coming toward them. And the boys ran. Then they were trapped in the corner. But right when the ghosts were about to get them, the wall turned and the boys found themselves in a pitch black room. But one boy had a flashlight, so he turned it on. And in the light, they saw a dead person with blood all over his body. So they got up and ran. And then skeletons started to pop up at them. So they kept on running. Then they stopped running and sat down. Oh, no, they stopped running and down in some slime.
Sure.
And then they got up and wiped off their butts.
That's important.
Priority
That's important
first.
There it is. There
And
it
started
is.
to run again. Then after an hour, they stopped running again. Then a monster grabbed a boy and ate him up. So the 2 boys ran on. Then a trap door, and they fell in a pool of blood. And they got out of the pool and ran into the house. Another trap door opened, but the boys jumped over and landed on a coffin. Then they jumped off it, and the coffin opened up, and Count Dracula came out of the coffin.
Oh, shit.
So the boys ran out of the house, and a werewolf jumped out of the tree and started to charge us, because now it's in first person. And in and out of the house. And then out of the pool, the gill man came to charge us, so we ran home. The end.
Marshall, you are a braver man than I. After every year of school, I would burn my notebooks.
Marshall's like, no, I need to document this in
I
my
gotta keep
40s
this-
and tell everybody about it.
Everybody.
I gotta hold on to all this.
Holy shit.
I feel like you had just watched Monster Squad.
Safe
Like,
bet.
I
Yeah,
feel like
oh,
there's some
You want to hold?
inspiration.
Let's hold that thought for a later chapter.
Okay.
When the aliens come and like all of our humanity and civilization is burned down, this is what they will find.
All right. So moving on to chapter 3 or part 3,
Part
Haunted
3.
House part 3. The 2 boys that did not get killed in part 2 are back with 8 friends.
8 friends.
8 friends.
10,
Jesus, they rolled deep.
So
Entourage.
that night, the 10 boys went to the house to sleep in. So that night, as the boys were sleeping, one boy got up to find find a toy to play with. The dollhouse was empty, and he got sucked into the dollhouse.
Of course.
Stay the fuck away from that peanut butter, man.
So the 9 boys were still asleep, but 2 boys got up and went to the attic to look into the boxes, but they were empty, and they got sucked in.
Yeah, sucked in.
So the 7 boys got up and started to look for them, but a trap door opened, and they fell. And when the dust cleared, 3 skeletons and 2 dead people with blood all over their body. So they ran.
You're like plagiarizing yourself.
I know. That's why it's so
Hey,
bad.
if it worked the first time, you know.
I fix it, you know. So they ran, but one boy tripped, and a dead person grabbed him and ate him up.
No.
So the 6 boys keep on running, but the boys are trapped in a corner. But right when the creatures are going to eat them, a secret passage. They were in a pitch black room. Then they heard a noise, so they ran out. But a trap door opened and they fell.
Another one.
Wow.
And then they fell.
Many
But
levels.
4 boys head on, and the 3 boys fall, and the 3 boys got killed. I don't know what that means, but that's how I wrote it, so that's how I typed it up.
Who's the fucking architect? H.R. Holmes? Jesus Christ.
MCI, sure, yeah. H.R. Holt, yeah.
How many levels are in this home?
So the 4 boys looked for a vine, and they found one. So they slid down the vine to look to see where the 3 boys were dead, and they did. The boys were laying on some spikes. So the boys climbed the vine. So they walked on. But one boy said, "Oh, there's dialogue here. I think someone is watching us." One boy said, "That is your imagination." Then a dead person grabbed a boy. So the 3 boys ran as fast as they can. But a trapdoor opened and they fell. In the garden where a dead person gave them an apple. but the apple had 2 worms in it.
Don't
Ew! Worms!
So the boys ran to the front yard. Then they sat on a bench.
Sure.
Then snakes started to come out of the gutter. So the boys ran. Then the wolf man jumped out from behind a bush at them. So the boys hid in the trash cans, but the wolf man heard them. So the boys hid in the garage, but the wolf man found them. So he got one boy and killed him. So the 2 boys ran to the backyard and through the garden into the graveyard. So the boys hid behind some gravestones, but the wolf man could not find them. So the boys got up and ran into the house, but it was a dead end. A werewolf heard them and ran to them, but they found a secret passage and went through it.
How many werewolves we at now?
How many passageways? How many trap doors?
Did the apple have a trapdoor in it by chance?
But they were in Frankenstein's lab. So the boys looked around the lab, but the trap door opened and they fell up to the front yard. So the wolfman can get them, but the wolfman was not there. So the gill man was. So the boys ran under his legs to the boys' home to make some silver bullets, get some guns and some wooden stakes, and get a bow and arrow. Then the boys went back to the house. As the boys were walking, the wolfman jumped out of them, so a boy shot him. And then the gill man came out of the lake, and a boy shot him, and he fell back into the lake. Then Dracula came out at them, so a boy shot an arrow at him and killed him. Then the mummy tried to kill a boy, but one boy got some slack and shot an arrow into a tree.
Oh, God.
And the mummy appeared. I have no idea what that word was. I wrote like I think it's supposed to be disappeared, but horribly misspelled.
You tried, buddy.
So the boys went home. The end of part 3.
So why would they come back in the first place?
Because they had to kill off the evil.
Oh.
They had to dispatch the evil things.
It seems like they did. They shot Gilman. They shot the werewolf. They shot Count Dracula with an arrow. And then they fucking Scooby-Dooed the mummy.
Yep.
I didn't even know the mummy was there.
Yeah, he just showed up.
He's like,
just
he's
showed
like
up.
a post-credit cameo.
Okay.
At the end.
Now, Marshall, do you have a trapdoor fetish by chance? I mean, inquiring minds want to know, because I walked past 3 of them on the way to the basement.
Oh, let's make this a little easier for me now. There we go.
I'm kind of also curious where when you get sucked into a peanut butter jar, or when you get sucked into a dollhouse,
Or a TV,
or
or
what have
a
you.
washing machine.
Where do you go?
That's a good
What
point.
happens?
Well, you go where all the other lost socks go, to sock Valhalla.
Is it like Poltergeist, where you're there like just living in the wall in an alternate?
Funky, gunky
Carol
limbo.
Ann with Carol Ann. Carol Ann. They say her name.
One of these in the original, I actually had like pictures on the back of like, here's the house and here's the front yard and the graveyard and
Do you still have them?
Yeah, do you still
I
have
was
them?
trying to look for it right now, but I'll have to look for them later.
Yeah,
Oh,
post
dude,
that
yeah.
shit on the ground.
I
Take
do.
some pictures of
Like
those.
these were from one I did in high school or something like that.
Well,
but
you have
I started drawing
beautiful.
maps of like the layout. Like here's the trails, and then here's the house layout, and so I could keep track of where my characters were.
Well, Marshall, you have beautiful handwriting. That's good cursive.
You know what's funny? I look back at like this is part like here's handwritten part 11 in cursive. So this was by like 4th grade, maybe 5th grade. My handwriting is better then than it is now.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Like so much better back then.
How are your typing skills compared to your 4th grade?
Typing skills.
I can
are
kick
on
my 4th
point.
grade ass.
Yeah, on point.
I would beat the shit out of my 4th grade self.
All right. That was part 2 and 3. Let's move on to part 4.
I'm ready.
Haunted House part 4.
These nips are ready.
This is still in the nameless character type.
The
stage.
boys.
Oh, actually, nope. There are names in this one that come back.
Oh, shit.
So
Reveal.
here we go. Haunted House part 4. The 2 boys that didn't get killed in part 3 are back with 6 more friends.
Wow.
That
Who would be friends with these kids?
Nope.
Not a good track.
Are they all
Those
wearing,
8 other boys never came back.
are the other 6, are they all wearing red shirts?
Yo, it's those kids. Don't hang out with them because all their friends fucking died. But they invited us to a party, so let's go, dude.
party.
Where's the party? At a haunted house.
You'll see a party play a big theme in the later
There is-
episodes.
Okay.
There is a shit ton of trapdoors, though. Heads up.
All right.
I'll do trapdoors. now.
That morning, the boys went there. The boys are Marshall, Aaron, Zach, Shane, Rick, Corey P., Lauren, and John. So the kids went to the house to sleep in. The girl said, "We have to sleep here?" "Yes." "Okay." And that's the end of the dialogue for this entire...
I'm easily influenced.
I believe that's the end of the dialogue. That night, they split up into groups. Aaron and Zach, Marshall and Lauren, John and Rick, Corey P. and Shane. We took the attic. Aaron's group took the cellar. Shane's group took the upstairs. John's group took the middle floor. Me and Lauren look in a chest, and a dead person with blood all over his face was in there, so we ran to the toy box and got in. Meanwhile, Aaron and Zach were in the cellar, and they looked around, and they saw a room, so they went into it, and it was full of weapons. So he ran up to me and Lauren. We were kissing, and he... And he scared us to death. He told us what he saw, so we went down and looked, but the room was empty. So we sat and yelled at him. Then everybody was down there. Then we heard a sound in the room. It sounded like a chainsaw. So we ran up to the bar room and hid behind the bar. Then we heard a scrape on the door, so we ran back to the attic and hid and hide. We hide in the toy box again, and we started to kiss.
Yeah. I like this story. This one's heating up.
Kiss count 2. No trapdoors yet.
Speak too soon. Then a trapdoor opened. Lauren and I fell. I hung on, but I let go to see if Lauren was okay. She was.
Thank God.
Ooh, Lauren.
So the other kids came too. So we walked on. Then we came to a pit of lava. And Corey P slipped into it and died.
Sorry,
Floor is lava.
Corey P's restaurant. R.I.P. Corey P.
Rest in Corey P.
So we walked on, then came to a cage, and it had a minotaur in it.
Whoa.
And Rick fell in there, and the minotaur killed him.
He fell in the
He
cage?
fell in the cage.
Sometimes it be like that.
Then we walked on.
happens.
We found our Saltus and Stars. I have no idea what that is. I just, like I said, wrote it word for word. Then out of the bookshelf came Freddy and Jason.
Whoa!
So Zach kicked Jason the nards, and Jason killed him.
That's what he do.
So we
Zach attack! Wow!
So we ran to the attic, but the Wolfman was there. So we jumped out the window and landed in a pool. Oh. Then the Gill Man, and he pulled Lauren in the water. So I dived into the water and kicked him in the face, and he let go of her. Yeah. I was darn mad. I could rearrange the whole world.
I could have rearranged the whole world.
Or I don't know. I wrote.
Let's run with that. That's
Nothing.
nothing.
Okay.
I like it. I like it.
There's your new shirt.
Yeah.
Darn man.
I'm so mad I rearranged the world.
So I went in the bomb house and got some bombs. Then I went to the house and put them on for 20 seconds. So I ran out of there and jumped in the pool, but the bomb came right back at us. So we ran out of the way and hid in a ditch, and then boom! The bomb went off. We were okay. So we went to my house to talk. Then we went.
What's up, baby?
Is Lauren okay?
Yeah.
You guys gonna do some more
Yeah,
kissing?
you need to get some smooching on.
Then we went to the house and we were mad.
Darn mad.
So we got Jason and shoved him in the lake.
He's okay with that, I guess.
Yeah.
Consensual.
I can just see like a bunch of fourth graders like roughhousing Jason. Get out of here! Get back on the lake! He's like, oh no!
Excuse
him in
me,
the
it's
shins.
third graders. Thank you very much.
I don't know. I think a pack of third graders could take down a monster. I don't know.
With the heart of the fourth
Ruthless.
grade.
They are ruthless.
Got to be at least 12 of them, though.
Yeah.
Then Aaron shot the Wolfman and killed him.
Yeah!
Take that one, man.
Then the Gill Man came at me, and right when he was go to kill me, a gun went off and he fell to the ground. Lauren saved my life.
Whoa!
Lauren.
I think
So then we went home and partied all night and fell asleep at 6:30 in the morning.
Because the party don't stop
Damn,
till
we were
6 in the morning.
Ragers!
Then we played baseball at 1. Then we went to a movie, and it was called Monster Squad.
Oh.
In the middle of the movie, Freddy jumped out at the people, so we said the words and killed him. Not sure if that went.
I think you're referencing A Nightmare on Elm Street for
Yeah.
when they do the Dream Masters dance. Or a
Something like
song.
that. There were some words. Yeah, I think that's what it was referencing there. So then we made a club called the Monster Squad. We made cards, weapons. That night we were needed at the museum. There was a mummy and Dracula.
Wait, we made cards and weapons. Okay.
Yep.
We gotta let people know who we are.
Yep. That night we were needed at the museum. There was the mummy and Dracula. They were easy.
What a bunch of bitches!
Giving it up.
And that, my friends, what happens if you go the wrong way. That is my life as a 10-year-old kid in California with his girlfriend and his friends. The end.
And that's what happened when Fred Decker and Shane Black sue your ass.
So we're in California
We're
now.
in California now.
Oh my god.
Good job there. buddy.
Beautiful.
Oh man.
It's evolving.
And that was 2, 3, 4.
I think I remember Lauren Because a lot of these names I recognize because I went to school with you.
Yep.
So I'm like,
Did you guys do a lot of smooching, like with trapdoors and shit?
No.
Okay.
I do remember her. I don't remember her last name.
I do.
Okay, well, we'll just leave it on.
I thought I was going to hear it, but yeah, I do.
But I remember she had a red Top Gun polo shirt that she wore, like the movie Top Gun.
That's kind of dope.
It said Top Gun on it, and she had a red polo, and she had brown hair, always pulled back.
Yep.
Fuck, what the hell's her last name?
I could say it.
Say it!
Markarian.
Markarian, that's it.
What's she do
I was
now?
like Martinez.
no
I was like
idea.
Is she
Martinez.
married
It's not
to a
Martinez.
trapdoor?
She's married to a trapdoor.
They have 3 beautiful
Here's a story from
trapdoors.
3rd grade about that. In 3rd grade, she was one of my crushes, obviously.
You think?
Obviously.
So what gave that away?
Valentine's Day.
Yes.
This is back in the day when you didn't have to give Valentine's to every fucking kid to make them happy. You just gave them to who you liked. So I had my basic, little, like card, postcard like Valentine's, like Ninja Turtles or whatever.
I choose you.
Yeah, so, the good card. So I gave out all the cards to all my friends. But then for her, I got her a box of those heart candies with like all those little sayings on them. I gave her a box of heart candies in her Valentine bag. And I was trying to be sneaky. I didn't want anybody to know it was me that did it. And somebody saw me put it in there. So I got teased on Valentine's Day. Ooh, you like Lauren? Like, no, I don't. No, I don't. Like, yeah, I obviously just gave her a box of Valentine hearts.
I remember this because in the playground she came up to me and she's like, so Marcia gave me this, right? And I look at it and it says, this is what I remember.
Oh, wait, no, I take it back. Yeah, you were there.
It says, to Lauren from question
Yep,
mark.
question mark.
The Riddler?
Yep, I put question mark on there. Yep.
We used to lick off the
Wow.
fucking red stuff and write in with like fine tip red Sharpies, like just bad shit, like you eat balls. We were terrible.
I'm really impressed by the level of everyone's brain cells that are left. I mean, really, the fact that you guys are like going way back to the 3rd grade and you remember sweet Lauren in her badass. Of course, she's going to be a badass if she's going to wear a Top Gun shirt.
Top Gun shirt.
all
yeah.
the time. But
Is she like
I'm really impressed, guys.
Yeah,
This is
Lauren and Shannon were my 2 big crushes in grade school.
fantastic.
Shannon Edwards?
No, I didn't go. Wait,
How do you
yeah, it was Shannon Edwards.
you guys remember this shit?
And I remember
She was hot!
She was. Aaron had a crush on
had
Lizzie.
nudes.
and you're on a list.
She had noobs, like new boobs.
Aaron had a crush
Yes,
on Lizzie.
yeah.
Liz Walson was
I
his
said
crush.
noobs, as in new boobs. Like,
Yeah. Anyway, so that's the early parts of the haunted house.
Now that
storyline.
we've just confessed our
Now-
3rd grade crushes
Yeah.
to the world.
Here's another story. Why did they go on so long? Because at one point, Aaron dared me to take the story up to 20 chapters. You should write it up to 20. I'm like, challenge accepted.
I don't remember that, but I bet I did.
You did.
Yeah.
So I did. But we're going to jump from part 4 to part 12 because then part 12 is very different. And then 13 on is all like almost one big story, I believe, with actual dialogue that we can get the rest of the our cast involved in. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to sign parts. And we come back, we will pick up with Haunted House Part 12. All right, we're back from break. And we're getting ready to start Haunted House Part 12. Now,
Haunted House Part 12. Were you still in 3rd grade? Do you remember, have a reference of how old you were?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what. I may have been in 4th grade by this time.
I mean, we're moving up.
We're moving up.
I can tell it is approved.
So Haunted House Part 12. We finally have some cast members, but again, dialogue is very, very basic and very minimal at this point. But we're moving on. Again, for some of you in the know may have picked up the inspiration for this chapter if you grew up in the 80s and had a Nintendo. So let's get with it. Playing Marshall, we have Aaron Southwood.
Hey-o.
Playing Lizzie, we have Miss Sarah Samples.
well, hello.
And playing Plant is Mr. Nachos McWerewolf.
Hi.
There we go. Haunted House, Part 12. Mike R., Lizzie, Marshall, Sarah C., Casey, Matt, and Robert were telling ghost stories around a small fire when it started to blow and rain, so we made a shelter.
Whoa. Where's Aaron?
Yeah, you're not in this one
He
yet.
was one of the nameless boys that died in the
Could-
other ones.
This had to be at least 4th grade because
I moved.
You would move.
I moved, yeah.
You moved. So yeah. Oh wait, Mike. Wait, Mike R. This had to be 5th grade.
Ah.
Because Mike R. and Sarah C., they were at Abe Lincoln with me. So this was 5th grade after I moved.
Gotcha.
So there we go. We're in 5th grade now.
So
Gotcha.
puberty is on the horizon.
But smooching's going to get a lot different. All right, sorry for the interruption.
No, it's fine. It's fine. When it started to blow and rain, so we made a shelter. It was a medium lean-to. It was big enough to hold all of us.
Very specific.
Then a large meteor hit the ground. Then a big explosion followed it. The meteor hit behind the old Victorian mansion that used to be haunted for 11 years. So the haunted house from the previous stories.
It quit being haunted, or
It apparently just quit being haunted. Something happened in chapter 11 that I haven't gotten to yet.
11 years ago.
But some people in their mid-30s bought it.
Are they hipsters? Were they a bunch of
They're
fucking
probably
hipsters?
hipsters.
they were.
No, we're talking the 80s. They were yuppies, probably.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
this was
yeah.
90s. This was 90s now. This would have been
Okay,
91.
So
91.
You still got some yuppie left over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yuppie residue.
We walked up the stairs to the front door. The door is locked. So I went to the window and opened it. I snuck in and I locked the front door for the rest of the guys. They came in. The place was huge. Doors on every wall. Stairs going up and down. So we started our search. Then a green woman in a nurse's suit came down the hall.
Whoa.
Then the power went out for 1 minute. It came back on, but Robert was gone. So was the green nurse. We went upstairs. In front of us was a steel door. To the right was a wood door, and the left was a wood door. We went to the left. It was an art room. We got a bowl of wax fruit and left.
What?
Then we opened the steel door. In that room was a staircase and a can of Pepsi. We picked up the Pepsi can.
Was it clear Pepsi?
No, I don't think clear, crystal clear hadn't come out yet.
Okay,
Well, all
sorry,
I wanted
sorry.
was a Pepsi.
Yeah.
And we
one
walked up the
Pepsi.
stairs. A green tentacle came charging at us. It said,
Feed me and you can pass.
so we did. Then it was thirsty, so we gave it the Pepsi. It let us pass. Matt opened the door and went in. The green woman caught him, but as that happened, the power went out for 1 minute, so we went on. We opened the door and a green tentacle turned Casey's arm into slime. Soon, Casey was a big blob of slime.
Oh.
He disappeared into nowhere. We continued our search for the others, and for the meteor. We opened the door at the end of the hall. It was the bathroom. I said,
Anyone have to go?
after 5 minutes, we started up again. Sarah opened the shower curtain and a mummy grabbed Sarah and pulled her into the tub's drain. We ran out of the bathroom. We went to Dr. Fred's room and found a wanted poster that said, call 911 if you see a purple meteor.
Who the fuck is Dr. Fred?
Obviously, he owns the house.
So we grabbed the poster and ran. But as Mike Rose came out of the door, Dr. Fred hit him on the head and ran into his room and locked the door behind him. We banged, knocked, kicked, punched the door, but it wouldn't open. But after a minute 38, the door opened.
The most specific time frame. I want to know who's timing this.
Dr. Freed, I think, is it like Dr. Freud from House by the Cemetery?
No, just Dr. Fred.
Oh, fair enough. Moving on.
After a minute 38, the door opened, but they weren't anywhere in sight. Lizzie and I walked to the front door. I opened the door and started to walk out when Lizzie grabbed the back of my shirt and said,
Don't leave you friends here. Something bad might happen to them.
I walked out of the house and shut the door behind me. Lizzie opened the door and grabbed the back of my shirt and turned me around and kissed me on the lips.
Hey, that's my girl.
Then she left. I walked back to the camp and put out the fire. Took the lean-to down. Meanwhile, Lizzie was looking for the others when the green nurse came and grabbed her. I heard her scream. I came running back to the mansion.
I hope she's still alive.
I thought to myself. I finally got back to the house. She was putting up a good fight as I looked in the window. Then the nurse took out a shot and stuck her with it. She was knocked out. When the nurse left, she dropped Lizzie on the floor, but the door with no doorknob. I opened the window and snuck in. I ran over to Lizzie when the green nurse came down with a machine in her hands. She picked up Lizzie and carried her away to the door with no doorknob. It opened up for her. I grabbed the door before it shut, but it overpowered me and shut. I found a way in. It was very dark in the room. Then a light came on. It was a lab. Dr. Fred and the green nurse were in the room. So were my friends, but they were in big machines. The machines had wires, tubes, buttons, levers, and lights all over them. I hid behind a nuclear reactor
And then all my hair fell out.
with a tube. When the two left the room, I got out of my hiding place and unlocked the glass containers that held each of the guys. Lizzie was still knocked out, so I had to carry her out. As we approached the front door, the doctor and nurse came down the hall. They saw us, so I gave Lizzie the mic. They ran out the door. I stayed and fought.
Ooh!
The doctor and nurse came at me. I grabbed them at a bar and hit them on the head. They fainted.
Oh my!
The size of that pipe.
I ran out the door. We found a telephone and called the police. They came about 10 minutes later. They got the doctor and the nurse. Then the family that bought the house got home. They thanked us.
Oh
Wait,
god!
what?
Yeah.
So they bought this house. There's plants and Dr. Fred and green nurses and nuclear reactors.
Yep.
They're like kind of unaware of this.
Yeah, unaware.
It's a fixer-up.
Yeah.
They thanked us. The police rewarded us. We all got $100. We all got movies, games for the NES, and a large treehouse made for 7 kids.
Made for 7 kids.
Not made out of 7 kids, though.
As for the meteor, Dr. Fred, the green nurse, and the green tentacle, they were put on a large rocket and blasted into space back to their home planet.
Perfect.
Also aliens.
We had a big party at our new treehouse. We had some more friends over. We played NES, Clue, Master Detective.
Whoa, I haven't
Life,
played that one.
Monopoly, and we went to get out our sleeping bags. We had cookies and told ghost stories, and finally we fell asleep. The end.
Yes! I want to have that kind of night.
Yo, but like, so is that the fire marshal says like the maximum load for this treehouse is 7 kids?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you had
for
more,
all you
you
out
had
there-
more friends over. I mean, how did you all fit in the treehouse?
They were made for 7 kids. Oh yeah, you're right. It was only made for 7. It was a tight fit.
Lizzie had a concussion, so she couldn't make it. She had to stay home.
So here's the big question. Aaron might know this.
I do.
Anybody want to guess what the reference was for that story?
It's a Nintendo game.
Yes,
It's,
it is.
Monster Mansion, right?
Maniac
Maniac.
Mansion.
Fuck
Yeah.
howdy, you're right. Is that a LucasArts flick or joint?
No, I don't think that was a LucasArts game. And by the way, just for fun, you were asked about this earlier. This chapter I made into a book, or tried to, complete with cover art.
Oh my god.
Stapled
Oh, is that for like the young authors? Did you ever do young authors?
Yeah, I did. I don't
Yeah.
know if this was. I think this was just me being stupid.
Oh,
and
man.
complete
a fucking
with
genius.
Awesome.
complete with critic blurb on the back.
Oh yes!
Which reads, 7 kids see a meteor hit the ground behind the old mansion. They go to see what had happened, but they ran into some strange and crazy things. Can those kids make it out of the old place alive, or will they bite the dust? And then the blurb from the critic is, if you like a good crazy story, this book is for you. New York Times.
Damn, that's some credentials right there.
Marshall.
King.
Times.
How clean those lines are in that drawing. You're in like 5th grade. You know, you're out there with a ruler, like erasing and like making it perfect.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Some authors live their whole lives and never get picked up by the New York Times. You are really
I did it in
on
5th grade.
Yeah.
It's like compare yourself to Marshall, then kill yourself.
It's over.
What did you do in the 5th grade? Exactly.
All right. Now we'll move on to part 13. This is, I think, no, this is a continuation. So,
Oh. So this is gonna pick up from the
from the left
the
off.
after party.
yeah.
Nice.
So
So,
where everyone partied with Nintendo games, playing multiple versions of Clue, Life, Monopoly with milk and cookies.
Yo, Master Detective Clue. You kind of threw me off with that one, man. Fuck
yeah, I'm surprised they
Clue.
put 2 clues in there, but Clue and Master Detective edition.
How many people you got playing Monopoly? That could take like 3 hours.
Yeah,
Horrible
I've
game.
never finished a game of Monopoly in my life.
I
Well,
thought-
you know these kids do stay up till
hate Monopoly.
6:30 a.m.
That's
Oh yeah,
true.
they party. I forgot.
They
And then
party
later
like-
at 1, they go play baseball.
They party like
need
Snoop
sleep.
Dogg.
Oh,
Till
yeah.
6 in the morning.
Because after the party, it's the after party.
That is correct.
That's the most St. Louis thing. It's like, hey kids, let's wake up, play baseball after a sleepover.
One kid.
Figure they're not drinking. They're just going through jugs of Sunny D and purple stuff.
Right.
An orange drink. I
Orange
loved orange, the
drink.
generic orange drink.
Barrel
And
drinks.
oh, dude, those are dope.
Yeah.
And fucking Jolt Cola.
Oh yes, Jolt,
Cola.
man.
Doing lines of pixie sticks.
All right, so before we move on to 13 again, we're going to take a quick break so I can sign parts and hand out scripts. So we will be right back. All right, we're back. Parts are handed out. Scripts are ready, and we're ready to go for Haunted House, part 13.
Oh, this is the unlucky edition.
Yeah.
Yeah, 13.
I'm not sure where this story goes from here, but it gets, I don't know.
I already like the beginning. I already know him.
All right, so here we go. The next night after the aliens got shot back into space, so the very next night, these guys go hard.
Man, seriously.
The family invited us over for a party. So
More party.
So the family that owned the house, as gratitude, invited us over for a party. So we came. They gave us soda, cookies, and pizza. We slept over there at their house.
Wait a minute.
Weird.
What?
Yo.
Then it started to rain. Then about 10 minutes later, the doorbell rang. Mike opened it, and there stood Heather. Mike and Heather kissed. We all went to bed. Matt and Rob shared a room. Lizzie, Sarah, and I shared a room.
What?
Mike and Heather shared a room. I slept in a sleeping bag, but the two girls shared a bed.
Such a gentleman.
In the middle of the night, Lizzie came down and got in the sleeping bag with me. We all fell out of bed when we heard Matt scream. We ran to their room, but Rob wasn't there. Matt pointed at the window. We ran over to it. Then we looked down, and there was Rob's body. We tied Matt up in a chair. Then I said,
How could you do such a thing?
and then we left him.
Tie your buddy to a chair?
We walked downstairs to get some food. Then Mike had to go to the pot. When he didn't come back, Heather went to look for him. She found him in the living room. She said,
Follow me, Mike.
he did. They stopped at the broom closet and turned on the lights and pulled on a coat hanger, and a door opened. Mike said,
How did you do that? Or how'd you know about that?
I knew about it because I used to live here.
They started down the stairs. They kept on walking down the stairs. Then Heather stopped and turned around. They started to kiss. Then, and then, thank you. Somebody just had to highlight. They all came back to the kitchen in 6 minutes. We finished our food. Then Heather had to go get something from her bag. We moved to the living room to watch some TV. Then we heard Heather scream. Heather came running down the stairs.
I came up to see how he was doing. Then I saw he was dead.
Heather said, and then the power went out. I said,
I thought I saw a lantern and a flashlight in the kitchen.
we lit the lantern. We walked over to the door. I tried to open it, but a tree fell. It was blocking the door, so we sat down to talk. We played Truth or Dare. We made a big circle. I was in the middle. Mike asked me.
Truth or dare?
I said,
Dare.
Okay, Marshall, you and Lizzie go in the broom closet.
Sure.
we got in the broom closet and talked. We came in 5 minutes.
This is dicey. This went from young adult to fucking like softcore porn.
That slut. Slut.
Yo, but 5 minutes though. That's
Yeah,
pretty
5
good.
minutes, pretty good, yeah.
Respect. 7 minutes of having my ass. We don't have time for that.
Woo!
Okay.
Do you want me to do Foley artist in the meantime?
We quit that game. Then the two adults came down the stairs. I yelled softly.
Everybody hide.
Then a rat ran out in front of the broom closet. Heather jumped out and ate it. She's a vampire! We ran to the basement. They were running down the stairs. I said,
Mike, you take Sarah and Lizzie and try to get out.
What about you?
I'll try and hold them off.
Lizzie kissed me on my cheek.
Now get out of here.
They ran off.
I hope Mike knows where he's going.
I ran further into the dark basement. I ran to a dead end. Then the wall turned, and I was in an underground church. I looked around. Then I saw a gold cross on the altar.
I need to borrow this. Hope you don't mind.
Then I ran out to the underground church the same way I got in. I was running back to the stairs when the man popped up out of the corner. I fell over. He started at me. Then I grabbed the cross and pointed it at him. He disintegrated. I finally reached the stairs and started up. But as I reached the top, the female charged at me. So I shined the cross in her face, and so she turned to stone.
Kick that bitch.
I ran up the stairs to the top floor to get our stuff. Then Heather jumped down and bit me on my arm. I grabbed the cross and I hit her on the back. She died.
To death.
I got our stuff and Heather and walked down the stairs and out the front door. Mike, Lizzie, and Sarah were across the street waiting for me. Lizzie ran up to me and kissed me.
I'm sorry, Mike. She attacked me.
We buried her in the ground, and for a marker we used the cross. Then Lizzie saw the two teeth marks and said,
Are you okay?
Yeah.
I put my arm around Lizzie. We all walked home talking and laughing.
Yo, what if
The end of part 13.
What if Heather was Jewish though? You know, would you have to do the Star of David?
You're right. I did not take into account that Heather might have been Jewish, a Jewish vampire.
Damn it.
Came in 5 minutes.
Came in 5
Oh
minutes.
my god, that was the best.
She knew what she was doing. She really did.
Apparently so did Marshall.
Yeah.
And then we quit that game. Yeah, we quit that game after that.
Yeah, we quit that game because
And we just
we had
talked
to
for
smoke
2
cigarettes.
Went and got some pizza. Hey, baby.
Played some
Want some
Nintendo.
pizza?
Play some
Yeah.
Nintendo. That is a ongoing theme.
Damn, girl, do you want to play Detective Advanced? Because I'm a real gumshoe. Or cumshoe.
All right, let's move on to part 14. So,
Jesus Christ.
Marshall for
Okay,
Aaron.
okay.
Give that to Chris for Mike. Lizzie and Sarah for Sarah.
Oh, I get to be Sarah.
And Nachos, you get to be Dunn and Jeremy.
All right.
All right,
Well, that's a heavy script right there.
there we go. Haunted House, part
Kiss
14.
anybody else?
We got home about 10 a.m. Lizzie fell asleep. Mike got lots of food. Sarah was in the bathtub.
Whoa.
Mike and I watched a movie. Sarah got out of the tub, and about 5 minutes later, we wake Lizzie up. Then we walked over to Tim's house. He was having a small party. Dunn, Christy, Kurt, Kevin, Jeremy, and Sarah T. Mike left the party by 11:30. He started down the road towards the place where we buried Heather. When he got there, I think that's highlighted for Chris. I think it should be. Anyway, when he got there,
No.
I apologize. That was my mistake then. He grabbed the gold cross and ran back to the party.
What's wrong, Mike?
Sarah asked. He tossed the cross into my hands and said,
Does this give you a clue?
Oh shit. She's back.
Who's back?
"That's
Heather.
done."
Heather. First we get into groups. Lizzie, Kurt, Jeremy, Sarah T. All of you will go with me. Sarah, Dunn, Kevin, Chrissy. All of you go with Mike. Second turn on all the lights in the house. Oh, Tim, you'll be in Mike's group.
So Mike's group walked down to Tim's basement to look around. My group looked around the upper level. We were walking down a dark and long hallway when a hand grabbed Kurt and pulled him into the wall. We reached the end of the hall. I took roll call.
Lizzie,
Here.
Jeremy,
Here.
Sarah,
Here.
Kurt. Kurt!
I looked by and there was Kurt's body lying on the floor.
Oh, shot.
Yeah, typo. That's supposed to be shoot. Or misspelling, actually, because I just copied this word first. So, yeah, it's supposed to be shoot.
Not shit, though. All
No.
right, let me fix that.
Not shit.
Shit.
I was not into my cursing stage yet.
Well, you got one in here. You got a shit in here.
Okay, I do. All right, maybe I do.
I have shit now.
Down in the basement, Mike was leading his group out of the house through the basement. Then Kevin wandered off into the darkness of the basement. The wall opened up and he walked in. He flew out with no arms or legs.
Oh, shit.
We never saw him when they started to look again. We were still in the dark and very long hall. I was leading the group, then Lindsay, Sarah, and Jeremy. As we were walking, the trap door opened up and Jeremy fell.
Of course.
The door closed. A blob of red goop. It ate Jeremy alive and whole. We finally got out of the hallway. Mike and his group
What's this?
asked Mike. It was a dial on the wall. He turned it. 2 steel walls came falling out of the ceiling, crushing Dunn. They were trapped.
Dunn got turned into a Dunn sandwich.
Then the
Sorry.
ground started to disappear slowly. Then Mike noticed an opening in the ceiling, so they made a ladder. But Christy fell. She hit the ground with a boom.
Boom.
Then the ground disappeared from under and she fell down, down, down. Mike and them could hear her screams. Mike heard a loud crash. I led my group to the game room. We took a rest. Then we played a game of pool.
Fuck.
Then all of a sudden the pool table turned into a black hole. It started to suck everything into it. We had to hold on to things to stop from being sucked in. Then Sarah T lost her grip and got sucked in. It turned back into a regular pool table after that.
Who's your guidance counselor?
The
end.
Mother Teresa? Yeah,
To
well,
be continued in chapter 15.
fuck them. They're dead anyway. I was going to say Don was done.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
Well played. Good job, everybody.
Oh, shot.
All right, so
Oh, shot.
all right, in part 15, Miss Sarah Samuels will be taking a break because I do not believe there are any girl parts in this one.
Oh, I know a couple of them are dead. Most of
Yeah.
them are,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, sorry.
You got to get some new crushes.
I gotta get some rest from all that whoring.
So here's Marshall scripts.
Oh my God, this is a lot more.
Yep. Hey, sorry, dialogue gets a lot more in these.
What did Slauson say in fucking Terrorist Trap? It's like, you could shoot your wife for whoring or something like that.
For hard.
That's mine.
That's a great movie.
Mike R. Okay, so Mike Rose and Chris will also be reading Zach, so pass that down to him.
Chris and Zach.
And unfortunately,
I'm sorry,
Mike and Zach.
Mike and Zach. Yeah.
wait a minute, part 15. I take that wrong. I take it back. Sarah, you will be reading Natalie. There is a part for you, Natalie.
Oh, I get a
Snap
hold.
dizzle.
Maybe Natalie will be a little
I could be
sexier.
Zach.
I want her to be more bookwormy. Like, hey guys.
Okay,
All right,
let me
so
hear it.
Nachos,
Guys are retailer.
Oh,
Nachos,
just a good one.
you will be very busy. For
All
you
right.
will be reading Mike S.,
Okay.
Casey, Ryan, Andy, and Bernie.
Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
do it.
Because I should have said this at the beginning. Eric was Cincinnati Jeff was supposed to be here, but he got a case of the pussifies.
Yeah, he has
and
8.
he decided not to come. So no, he actually got sick. He couldn't make it. So
Actually, he came in 5 minutes.
He came in
But,
5 minutes.
Then he couldn't come here.
but unfortunately, we missed him. Hopefully, he gets better soon. But yeah, he was supposed to be here. So a lot of these parts are getting more people are
This
getting.
is a
crammed.
little
not just
thicker. I need
poison
to
him.
make some wiener water.
All right,
real
we'll
quick.
take. All right, we will take a quick break as
Wiener water?
real quick. There we go. Quick break. All right, we're back and we're ready. Scripts handed out, ready for Haunted House, part 15.
Dun.
When we got home, we found Zach, Casey, Tom, Mike S., and Natalie having a party. We walked in. Natalie ran over to me and kissed me on my cheeks.
Mwah, mwah.
Mike Rose asked me.
How did they get in?
I gave Zach a key.
I told Mike. Casey asked.
Where were you guys last night?
You don't want to know.
I replied. I asked Mike if he wanted to go to Farmore to pick up some videos.
Do you have a car?
He asked me.
Yeah, I got a Ferrari Testarossa.
We got The Lost Boys, Silver Bullet, and Nightmare on Elm Street 4. We got home about 10 p.m. We watched The Lost Boys. I left the room because I've seen the movie already and I wanted to be alone. Then Natalie walked into the room.
What's with you guys?
She asked.
I just miss my old pals that I lost yesterday.
You still got me and those guys.
Yeah, you're right. But it seems that every time I turn around, I'm losing people I like. Shannon, Lauren, John, Matt, Shane, Aaron, Zach Ruman.
Natalie gave me a hug and kiss.
Aw,
She said,
I won't leave you. Now, let's go finish the movie.
at the end of the movie, the doorbell rang. Mike and I went to answer it. I opened the door, and there stood Heather.
Holy shit!
I yelled and slammed the door shut. We ran down the stairs to warn the others. We hid in the secret passage. Casey took off his sunglasses, and a laser beam came out of his eyes. It hit Heather. She fell with a with a thud. We ran over to see. She was dead. Heather grabbed him with her wings and bit him, turning Casey into a vampire. We ran upstairs. They followed us. Heather was back in her human form.
Run to the attic!
I yelled. We got to the attic.
Shit! My guns and everything else is gone!
They caught up with us. Casey fired his beam and hit Sarah. Sarah blew up and died. Then Casey fired at Mike Rose. Mike R did a double front flip, dodging it. Then a back flip, dodging it again. Casey, again. Mike R did a triple handstand flip, dodging 3 shots.
That's one nimble motherfucker!
Then dived under another shot. Mike got back to his feet. Casey ran towards Mike R. Mike R picked up Casey up above his head and threw him out the window.
Mike R's a badass!
Casey fell into my pool filled with holy water. Casey screamed. Who's Casey? Casey screamed.
It's not on my script.
Oh, sorry.
Casey screamed. Oh shit! Or whatever.
Casey screamed his lungs out at the same time. He was melting. Casey was gone. The only thing left of him was his lungs on the side of the pool. I found the secret passage in the wall. We all ran in, But Tom got caught by Heather, and Tom became a vampire. We didn't know that until we got out of the passage. When Tom charged us, Mike Rose did a flying spin kick to Tom's face. Tom fell on his face. We ran upstairs and hid in a large storage room. Tom came up the stairs. He walked past us. Mike hit a button on the floor. Click. Mike fell into a hole. We ran to the hole and looked down.
Mike, are you okay?
I yelled down to him. Mike yelled back.
Yeah, I'm fine. Come on down.
So we jumped down, but as we shut the trap door, Tom walked in.
I never knew about this before.
I said. Then Heather and Tom jumped down the trapdoor. We ran as fast as we could away from Tom. Tom jumped at us. He grabbed Natalie. I ran and punched him in the face. Whack. He let go of Natalie. We ran again. Tom was still after us. Then a trapdoor opened and we fell. We found ourselves in my bedroom.
Oh.
Whoa.
Then Tom fell down the hole. We ran out of the room. Tom ran after us.
Where's Heather?
Asked Zach.
I don't know.
I answered. We ran to the bathroom to hide. The two vampires were still outside in the door. Then Lizzie stepped on a tile, making the bathtub move. We could see a stairway leading underground. We followed it. The walls and ceiling were made of dirt. I heard water dripping on in the distance. We found a spring under a rock. All of us had some water to drink. The tunnel started uphill. At the end of the tunnel was a wooden door above us. I opened it up. I opened it all the way. We were in the den. Then my watch beeped. Midnight.
Oh no! It's midnight. They'll be at their meanest, so stay close together and be careful.
I told them. We all got out of the tunnel. I turned on my computer and loaded my search disk. It monitored the whole house. Natalie asked me.
What is that?
We can see and hear the vampires wherever they are.
I said.
Cool.
Said Mike S.
Where are they?
Said Zach.
They're in the hallway outside the door.
I said. Natalie pushed aside the dresser. There was a passage behind it, so we followed it. The passage led to the workroom. When all of a sudden, Heather and Tom appeared out of nowhere. Zach tried to run, but Tom grabbed his shirt. Tom picked up Zach and slammed his face into a saw blade. We ran for the door, but it was locked. Tom came running at Mike R. Mike R did a jumping spin kick to Tom's face. He fell with a thud. We ran down the stairs and hid. The vampires followed. We were in the conservatory. We hid behind the plants.
Somebody said plant?
Tom was throwing plants everywhere trying to find us.
My babies.
He was getting closer by the second. I jumped out the window, breaking the glass. I was cut all over. The others followed. So did Tom and Heather. We ran for the barn where I stored my weapons. The barn was locked, so we ran back to the house. Tom and Heather were close behind. We ran for the front door. Luckily, we make it in time. We locked the doors and windows. Tom bursted through the window. He grabbed Mike S. and threw him against the wall. Mike Rose jumped at Tom, but Tom moved. Mike went out the window. Mike S. got up and ran at Tom, but Mike S. tackled Tom.
You got sacked.
Tom disappeared. So did Heather. We ran to see what happened to Mike R. He was lying on the ground, bleeding from glass cuts. We helped Mike back inside. The doorbell rang.
Ding dong.
I opened it. There was Ryan, Andy, Sean, and Bernie. We walked back to the rest of the guys.
What the hell are you guys doing here?
Asked Mike R.
What the heck happened to you guys?
Asked Ryan. Mike R. was back on his feet, so we walked down the hall. We walked into the kitchen to get some drinks. Then we went to the living room. We drank and talked for like an hour or so. When Andy fell to the floor, followed by Sean, Bernie, Ryan, Natalie, Lizzie, Mike S., Mike R., and then me. We woke up in a big room tied to a wall. Rattlesnakes were in a cage about 15 feet away.
Where's Sean?
Asked Mike R.
He was poisoned.
Said Andy. All of a sudden, the ropes came undone and we all fell to the floor. The snake cage opened and they came out. A snake bit Andy in the shin. Andy screamed in pain. Mike R. picked up Andy and carried him to the door. We opened the door and ran for the bedroom. Mike R. set Andy down on the bed, but it was too late.
Oh,
He
damn.
was dead.
Sorry. Oh, damn.
Said Bernie. Then Tom and Heather came through the door.
Oh, shit!
Yelled Mike R. Tom ran for Bernie. Bernie tried to move, but he was trapped. Tom broke his neck.
Whoa.
The rest of us ran out the door and down the hall. Heather followed us. We ran to the garage, but when we got there, I saw my car tires were flat. Heather ran in and went for Lizzie. Lizzie gave Heather a bad backhand that took her taste out of her mouth. Heather grabbed Lizzie and bit her. She became a vampire.
Oh no, not Lizzie.
Tom ran in and punched Mike R in the gut. Ryan gave Tom an uppercut. Lizzie attacked Mike R. She was about to bite him when Mike S. punched Lizzie in the neck. On the neck.
Punched her on the neck.
On the neck.
That's a weird spot.
Yep.
Ow, guys.
Natalie kicked Heather to the ground. We ran to the porch and out to the pool. I pulled open the trapdoor lid. We all jumped down into the tunnel. We came out in the hall. We ran into the kitchen and out to the tool shed. I grabbed 2 hammers and 3 wooden stakes. Then we ran back to the garage. We found waiting for us Heather, Tom, and Lizzie. Ryan ran towards Tom with the hammer in one hand and a stake in the other. Tom punched Ryan in the chin, making him drop them. Mike S. ran towards Tom and tackled him to the ground. Mike slugged him in the gut as hard as he could. Mike grabbed a stake and a hammer. All of a sudden, Lizzie tackled Mike S. off Tom. Tom got up and ran for Mike Rose. He grabbed Mike and ran off.
Oh, shit.
Ryan got up and ran over to us. Heather and Lizzie disappeared. We heard a loud scream.
It must be Mike.
Said Mike S.
Mike S. Ryan, you two search upstairs.
I said. Then the doorbell rang. I opened the door and there was Mike Rose hanging from a rope with one arm, one leg, cuts and scratches all over and his stomach cut open. We cut him down. Then Tom tackled brother Mike S. I don't know why that's there. But Tom tackled brother Mike S. They're not brothers. I don't know. They're not. They got into a fight. I ran into the kitchen and got some garlic. I ran back into the main hall. I shoved the garlic down Tom's throat. He blew up.
Kaboom!
We ran upstairs and into the nursery. In the nursery, we found waiting for us was Heather and Lizzie. Lizzie turned into a giant bat and flew over and grabbed Mike S.
Oh,
she
shit.
flew up and dropped him. Mike jumped up. We ran out of the room and out of the house. To be continued in part 16.
Well done.
Sorry, I flubbed my line. There was a lot going on.
There's very action packed.
That was-
Jesus.
yeah.
And Mike R is a badass.
Well, he was. I don't
Yeah.
anticipate him coming back anymore.
Well, I don't know. We've had some
We've
resurrection.
had some continuity issues.
And apparently I'm dead. So, Aaron's gone.
Or is?
All right.
Oh.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right, so
You missed the closing after the credits scene. Aaron shows me, he's like, God damn, there's a lot of vampires that need to get their dicks sucked.
All right.
Murder.
part 16. Aaron's, here's Marshall. Apparently, I lost my continuity because here's Mike Rose part.
Alive.
Do we explain the resurrection at all?
I don't think so.
He was only kind of dead.
Sarah, you get this one off.
Mostly.
Aw.
And Mike, you get Mike S again and BJ this time.
Whoa, who's BJ? What's he sound like? Are we going to take a pause? Or are we just jumping into this?
BJ was a jock. He was kind of a
He's Chad.
he was a
Oh,
wrestler
shit.
and a football player. He played for Little Devils or Low Knights or whatever like that.
Little Double?
And he wrestled in high school and stuff like that. So
Can I see my old script?
Who
Who
was
was
this
Mike
Mike
S?
Rose?
Who did I have?
I have no idea who Mike S is. I do not Mike.
Who was Mike S? Oh, that was me. Okay.
I know Mike S.
regular.
Like, was he a nerd? Like, what?
He was regular voice.
Okay.
Okay.
So he's a nerd.
All right.
Not the Ferrari Testarossa. They let the air out of my Ferrari Testarossa tires?
Yep.
Come on.
Testarossa.
God, that's so fucking 80s. I love it.
Yep.
I love it. When I saw that, it was like tears started forming in my eyes.
It was like a Thunderbird with a bitchin' eagle. Like, it had fucking Hot Wheels flame stripes, and if you got it wet, it changed colors.
All right. So this, I think this one ends abruptly, and then it goes into 17.
Yeah, I don't. There's
So-
not a lot of
Yeah,
dialogue.
there's
in
not
this
a lot,
one.
not a lot in this one. All right, so here we go. Haunted House, part 16. As we were running down the road towards Long Beach, California,
We're running along.
running towards Long Beach, California, a car drove past us. The Lamborghini rounded a corner up ahead.
Isn't that your car?
Asked Mike R.
Yeah, that's my car.
I responded.
That means vampires are in the car.
I wonder where they're going.
Asked Mike S.
They're not heading for the city. I know that.
I said. After a while of walking, we came to a group of 16 to 18-year-old teens on the side of the road. Their van was totaled.
We're only a mile or so from Long Beach. Why don't you come with us?
I asked. They agreed. On our way to Long Beach, we introduced ourselves. Their names were Justin, Aaron, BJ, Allison, Ryan, Lizzie, Ben, and Casey. When we arrived in Long Beach, we looked for a place to stay. Mike S. found an empty warehouse we could stay in. Mike R., who's miraculously back from the dead, kicked down the door.
Why-ya!
Justin flipped on the light switch. When he did, there, standing in front of us were Heather Starman, okay, and Tom and the two vampires. Lizzie screamed and turned to run, and when we got to the door, a huge axe came flying down from the door from the axe cut right into her stomach. Blood came flying out everywhere. Lizzie's body was just hanging on the axe.
This is a different Lizzie than the vampire in the last story.
Probably not. Probably not.
Just curious.
Yeah.
Alternate universe.
The bitch is back.
Multiverse, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
The multiverse of Marshall.
It's still the MCU. It's still the MCU.
It's canon.
The rest of us ran. Tom grabbed Casey. Tom wadded Casey up into a ball and threw him into a coal burner. We ran into the lounge. When Tom and Heather ran in, we opened the blinds and let in the sunlight. Heather died instantly. Tom grabbed BJ and bit him on the neck, then died.
Fuck.
Then we closed the shades. The vampires are finally... Oh, that's not my line.
Oh, the vampires are finally dead.
Said Mike R. BJ looked at the blender and grabbed it.
What are you going to do with the blender?
Asked Mike R. BJ grabbed Mike R. and shoved Mike's arm into the blender, then his body in. After Mike was all cut up, BJ drank him.
Man, that must be like a ninja. You know?
The rest of us ran out of the room. As Allison passed BJ, he grabbed her and ripped her arms off.
Get over
Then
here.
he grabbed her and pulled her head off by pulling her hair. We hid behind the coal burner. We could see Casey's body still burning. BJ came out eating Allison's head. BJ found us. He grabbed Mike S. and threw him up against the wall. Justin pushed BJ's face first into a buzzsaw.
Where?
When BJ got up, there was a huge gash in his face. BJ charged at Justin, but he moves. BJ grabbed Ben and threw him onto the saw blade. Ben's skinny body was lying on the saw blade, his mouth wide open with blood coming out. Ben's stomach cut in two. His insides were hanging out.
Someone didn't like Ben.
Aaron walked up to BJ to try to calm him down. That idea didn't work because just as Aaron got closer, and BJ took a hot iron and pushed Aaron's face onto it. When she was dead, her face looked like a squished burnt tomato. Justin, Ryan, and I ran out the door and into the street. We saw Miss Kerchief walk on by on her walking stick. I pushed BJ her onto the road. A huge semi-truck ran her over. When it passed, all that was left was her walking stick. We looked down the road, and there was her head caught in the axle under the truck. Was Miss Kerchief. Her body was being dragged down the road by the semi.
God damn.
Wasn't she the principal?
I don't remember. I don't think so. I don't know.
Well, she
A
wasn't-
teacher or
she
something?
wasn't-
He was a teacher.
She wasn't the principal. I know that.
Then our school bus pulled up, because of course. Kelsey let us on. BJ jumped on the roof. Kelsey started to drive down the road. BJ ripped off the roof and pulled Kelsey out. Then we saw a bloody arm go flying off the roof. Kelsey fell back in. His head got stuck in the steering wheel. The wheel kept on turning until Kelsey's head flew off. We jumped out the emergency door. Justin, Ryan, and I ran for a safe place to hide. Ryan tripped and fell. BJ ripped out Ryan's skeleton. Ryan's body was a flap of skin lying on the street. Blood was all over the place. BJ was totally covered in blood from his head to feet. Justin and I ran to a church. BJ followed us. When we got in, we found some holy water. Then BJ ran in. We threw the water on him.
Oh, dude, I'm melting! I'm melting!
BJ yelled out as his body slowly melted into a puddle of red goo.
And BJ's a
The end.
badass. Jesus.
Hey, Marshall, were you okay then? Like,
It's getting way more graphic.
You definitely saw some horror movies between the last few
Definitely some
years.
angst against some
Did you
people
get
there.
help,
bud?
And I swear Mrs. Kirchhoff was the superintendent, or the principal at Abraham Lincoln.
Was it? Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Well, she got fucking ran over by a semi, and her head got caught in the
This
axle.
may have
not
been.
Her
like
body
her.
was dragged
She did
behind.
not
Holy
like her.
shit.
That's fucking metal, dude.
This may have been sixth grade. Because I remember I think that was the year I got spanked by her with the fucking paddle.
That bitch is gonna pay.
Which might be why that happened.
Oh man.
Okay, think about the climate of today's society,
never.
and if you
Oh,
found
never.
a kid's like writing this out, they'd be like, "Shit, we gotta
Dude,
lock this kid
When I
away."
went to Abraham Lincoln, there was my second grade teacher, and I cannot remember her fucking name, but she was a mean bitch.
Mrs. Cadwell?
And when you fucked up in class, she would take you into the fucking janitor's closet. And fucking, she had like rulers in there, and she would fucking beat kids with rulers.
Jesus Christ!
Bend over, grab your ankles, and she would fucking swat you with rulers.
You didn't even go to parochial school.
Wow.
I mean,
I got spanked
That's
at
normal
Ellis
for the nuns.
once by the principal there. Actually, maybe twice there. I don't know.
Oh,
and I got
damn.
spanked at Abe Lincoln by the principal there.
Yeah.
I thought
do
it-
to get
I
spanked?
I don't remember what I did, but I did something.
Being a little shit.
But goddamn.
All I know is if you go into the janitor's closet, you pull a hanger and then the wall spins around.
That's because I've lived here.
All right, so
You
let's
gotta be careful. There might be a trap door.
There's
a couple
Yeah,
trap
lots
doors.
of trap doors.
And werewolves and bushes and shit.
I've
I
lived
don't know.
here
man.
for years.
All right, let's move on to part
could've given us a
17. This is
heads
the
up.
final part of the series that I have for this series.
Oh.
So Marshall, Aaron, Sarah, you
Ooh,
have
this one's thick.
yeah, this is the thickest one.
Thick ass boy.
All right,
Get
so
ready.
Sarah, you have Katie, Sarah, and Shannon
Okay,
in this
so
one.
all new characters,
I
all new inspiration.
Probably.
okay.
Probably the same girls, just recycled.
Okay.
She
So
has less of a
Sean-
list.
Chris gets Sean,
Sean.
and
Since Mike R has been killed twice.
gets
Yeah,
killed
yeah,
twice
yeah.
now.
Back by popular demand.
Now, Mike, you get to change up because you're going to play Kyle, but you're also going to play Beth and Tara.
All right. So Beth has a smoker's voice.
Beth was technically my first girlfriend.
Oh.
We dated for
So she has a stomach.
3 days.
She talks like this. Marshall, I'm hot. Let's go. My box is going off. I need to switch it up from my vibrator.
What's Tara sound like, bud?
That would be Tara. Actually, I do know who that Tara is. Just normal girl.
Sounds like Tara Reid. Gotcha.
No, no, not Tara Reid.
Oh my God.
Tara and Sarah C were actually really cool chicks. I remember in grade school. They were
Well,
cool.
not today.
Who's Sean?
I don't remember. I don't know who that Sean is.
Gonna play him straight.
He's
Yep.
reluctant. Hold up.
Try to play Marshall as a hero.
Kyle.
Like, let's go.
What's Kyle sound like?
Of course.
And again, I don't know what Kyle. I don't know which Kyle that is. So make
Well,
it
it looks
whatever.
like he has 3 lines, so
Make it whatever.
he sounds like Nick Fury.
Sure.
Okay. Sam Jackson.
Sam Jackson.
All right. Here we go.
Motherfucker!
Let's close out the saga, I guess, here with Haunted House, part 17. Justin and I left the church at 3 p.m. We walked back to my house to sleep. We woke up at 10 p.m. Then I heard a knock at the door. I opened it. There stood Tara, Beth McCoy, Sean M., Shannon, Kyle, and John. I invited them in. We talked for a while. Then we had some drinks.
Sweet.
Beth got drunk. She started dancing on the table.
Yeah, I like the way this is starting off.
We all ran for cover from that horrid sight.
So, Beth is, All right, I got it.
She finally stopped dancing and got off the table. Then we heard a howling noise from outside in the woods. At first, I thought it was my dog. I asked John if he'd go get the dog and bring him in for the night. A minute later, we heard the howl again, only it was closer to the house. Then Wolfie trotted out from the other room.
Is Wolfie here? That means something else is out there.
Said Beth. Then we heard a terrifying scream. We ran out just in time to see a half-man, half-wolf creature run into the woods.
Where is John?
Asked Kyle.
Look, there's a trail of blood leading into the woods.
Said Sean.
Let's follow it.
I said. Sean, Kyle, Justin, and I went into the woods. Tara, Beth, and Shannon stayed behind. The trail got harder to follow as we approached the glooming woods. The trees seemed to be lashing out at us, trying to pull us deeper into their home. Then I heard something. All of a sudden, a terrifying raven came flying out of the woods. It reamed the top of Justin's head and flew off into the night.
Dope.
As we walked further into the woods, we heard the rustling of tree leaves. We looked up and down. Down fell John's body, hanging from a vine. His shirt torn, blood splattered on the shirt. He was cut and scarred, and 4 claw scars running down his face. We cut him down and ran home. When we got there, we saw the girls watching TV. After we were inside, all of us played Deluxe Monopoly.
Sponsored by Milton Bradley.
Yeah, right.
After an hour, we stopped.
Quickest game of Monopoly ever.
It's just too long to play.
Yeah, fuck it.
You gave up.
Then I
This is
saw a
Deluxe
car pull up.
Monopoly.
I saw a car pull up in my driveway. It was Stephen, Kate, and Sarah Craig. I hid behind the door. Justin opened it. When they walked in, I jumped out at Katie. She screamed. When she turned around and saw me, she slapped me. Then out the corner of my eye, I saw something ripping all the trees to shreds. Then it ran off.
You shouldn't be here tonight.
I said.
Why?
Asked Kate.
Because John has been murdered.
That's terrible. Do you know who did it?
Asked Sarah.
No.
I answered. Just then we heard a terrifying howl coming from the back room. Justin got up and grabbed a baseball bat and started walking towards the back room. The rest of us got up and ran to the back room, only to see Justin's body sprawled on the floor with 4 gashes in his neck. Blood was on the walls, the floor, and the door.
Let's break into groups of 2, then go lock all the doors and windows. Then we'll meet back in the game room. Whoever's the first one back, close the doors and lock the door. Don't open it unless you hear 2 knocks.
I said.
Shen and I'll take the attic.
Said Kyle.
Tara and I will take the second floor.
Sean said.
So we're stuck with the floor in the basement.
I said. After that, we all left. After that, we all left for our jobs. We decided to go down to the basement first. The basement was always so gloomy.
Hey, place cold and scary.
Said Beth.
Look, over there, it's the dark.
Kate said. The only light was shining through the door. The moonlight lit up the door and the outside. Just then, the killer walked into view. The thing was huge and furry. I couldn't get a better look at it. All I saw was its shadow. After it passed, I ran to the door and locked it. Kyle and Shannon were up in the attic at this time, locking all the windows. Then Shannon thought she heard a noise outside. She ran to the window to see. There was nothing that she could see. Then she heard the sound again. Shannon ran to the window. This time she saw a creature climbing up the gutters.
Kyle, come over here quick.
Shannon yelled. Kyle ran to the window. He looked down and saw the creature.
Get out of here now!
Kyle yelled. Shannon ran down the stairs to hide. To hid. Kyle threw a chair out the window at the creature. The chair missed its target and plummeted to the ground where it broke into pieces. The creature jumped into the window and lashed out at Kyle with deadly claws. Ow. The claws hit right on its mark. Blood flew out of Kyle's gut and on the gray fur of the creature. Kyle's limp body fell to the cold, hard floor of the attic.
I'm dead.
Shannon was tripping and falling all the way down to the ground floor with us. We were in my ballroom, locking the window when we all heard the game room door slam.
Got some baller fucking shit for a 6th grader here,
Yep.
pal.
Pretty sure you just watched the movie Clue.
Yep, exactly. Watch that movie a lot.
Advanced Clue.
Master Detective. We ran to the game room door to see who or what was in there. I yanked and twisted the doorknob, but it was locked.
Who's out there?
Yelled Shannon.
It's me, Marshall, Kate, and Beth.
I responded. Shannon opened the door and let us in. When we got settled down, I asked her what happened.
I was in the attic with Kyle.
Said Shannon.
Kyle? Where's Kyle?
I asked.
Dead.
Shouted Shannon.
I'm going up to find him. Wait for me. I'll be back in a little bit.
I told them. Sean and Tara were in the living room locking windows and looking around. When Sarah stepped on a button on the floor, the fireplace turned to reveal a hidden passageway. The two decided to follow it. Sean led the way. The passage came out in a secret room. They entered the dark, gloomy, freezing cold room. It looked as if all the color was sucked out of it. As they looked around, Tara noticed bits and pieces of clothing lying around. Then she noticed these were Stephen's clothes. Sean noticed 6 glass containers filled with a person's inner organs.
Sarah!
Screamed Sean.
A what?
Responded Tara.
Get out of here!
Yelled Sean. Tara ran over to Sean. When the jars came into view, she stopped dead in her tracks and then vomited. Then fainted and fell on her face first into her vomit.
Ew.
Sean covered up the jars and put them in the box, then picked up Tara and started back down the passageway. While I was in the attic looking for Kyle, I heard a horrible scream coming from the kitchen. I ran downstairs to the kitchen. When I entered, I saw the other people and Sarah lying on the floor with no arms or legs, and her shirt was almost gone, her stomach cut open with her intestines hanging out. Then Sean uncovered the box with Stephen's remains. The girls fainted.
What happened to Stephen?
I asked.
I don't know. This is all I found of him,
said Sean. Then we carried the girls upstairs to the bedrooms. We laid each one on a bed and locked the doors. Then we went back to the kitchen to clean up, but when we got there, Sarah's body and what was left of Stephen were gone.
Oh, man.
I said.
What are we going to do now, Marshall?
Asked Sean.
The girls!
I yelled. We ran upstairs to check on the girls. Kate was all right. Shannon was all right. Beth was missing and Tara was missing.
Great. 2 missing people and a killer on the loose.
I said.
What I want to know is how it got in.
Sean asked.
There's probably a hidden passageway somewhere in here.
I replied.
Let's look,
answered Sean. After 15 minutes, Sean found a trigger to open a hidden door. It was on a statue. Sean twisted his arm and the wall mirror flipped open. We entered the dark, cold passage. After walking a while, we saw a dim light up ahead. We ran towards it. Then the passage opened up into a room. There in the middle of the room was a rolling table with a huge glass jar with some red liquid in it. Also on the table was 5 hypodermic syringes. Next to the table was a chair with someone in it. I walked around to the other side to see who it was. The person seemed to be chained to the chair. I then realized that the red liquid was this person's blood. The person in the chair was Beth! I ran back down the passage. Sean was right behind me. I ran to the room with Kate, hoping she was still in it. I unlocked the door and flung it open. There on the bed was Kate, crying.
Ew.
She had a box of tissue next to her.
Sean.
I said.
Yes?
He replied.
Go check on Shannon.
I told him. Sean left. I closed the door and jumped on the bed. Kate said nothing at first. She finally started talking. Sean was looking for Shannon when the grotesque bloody arm fell from the doorway and hit Sean right in the face. Sean jumped back in shock, then realized the arm belonged to Sarah. He ran into with Shannon on it. Okay. Shannon wasn't in there, banging, knocking, hitting on the door. I opened the door and Sean ran in.
What's the matter?
I asked.
A bloody arm fell from the door, plus Shannon is missing,
shouted Sean.
Oh no, not again! Let's go search her room.
I answered. We walked into Shannon's room only to see a junkyard. The room was trash, furniture everywhere, broken furniture and mirrors. After a few minutes of searching the room, we found nothing. Katie noticed the window was open.
That must be how the killer got in and out,
she said. Just then the door slammed shut. There was Tara with blood on her face, arms, legs, and chest. Her shirt and pants almost gone.
Whoa!
The creature killed Shannon.
She huffed.
It's on its way here now.
Gasping for breath. Then we heard footsteps coming up the stairs.
What are we gonna do?
Asked Katie.
The only way out is the window.
Said Tara.
Then that's the way we go.
I said. Luckily, the pool was on this side of the house. Sean jumped first, then Tara, followed by Katie. Just as I got to the windowsill, the creature smashed the door down. It walked in, dragging Shannon's head behind it. Oh. The creature made its way to me, throwing the broken furniture out of its way, breaking it more. The creature reached out a furry, clawed hand to me. I jumped just in the nick of time. Woo. I hit the pool water hard. When I bobbed back up, I saw the creature move away from the windowsill. We got out of the pool and started thinking of ways to kill this creature.
I wonder why it didn't jump,
asked Sean.
It must be scared of water,
said Tara.
Sean and I will go back in and try to get my dad's gun,
I said.
Speak for yourself, Marshall,
said Sean.
Fine, I'll go by myself. If the thing comes out here, jump in the pool,
I said. I ran inside. I didn't do anything at first. Then slowly I started walking forward. I spun around. I saw Sean knee next to Tara, who was lying down, probably weak from her wounds.
I'm weak from my wounds.
Katie was standing next to them. I turned around and walked further down the dark hallway. The first door was open. I slowly walked in. It was the kitchen. The room was empty. I grabbed a knife. Not a small little eating knife, but a big, huge cutting knife. I left the kitchen. The dining room was next room. The room was fine, and there was no sign of the creature. The dining room was so fancy. The walls were decorated with expensive pictures, oil paintings. The table was solid mahogany. Oh, yeah. This is one of my favorite rooms.
Creative writing classes paid off, dude.
I like you take time to admit, this is a great room.
I stood there for a while thinking about the room. My thoughts were broken by a terrifying scream coming from outside. I ran out to the hallway. The scream stopped. I ran out to the patio. Katie and Tara were kneeling at the far end of the pool, wet, crying, and hugging each other. I ran to them. They pointed to the water. There was Sean floating on his chest with 4 gashes running down his back. Sean's left arm was missing. It was floating down at the other end. His blood stained the pool water red.
The creature came around the house and we jumped in the pool and it jumped in after us. Sean tried to stop it, but it killed him.
Katie said, crying.
If it's not afraid of water, why didn't it jump down after us?
I asked. Tara finally was able to speak.
Can we just get out of here?
Oh, no, but the creature slashed our tires.
Said Katie.
I have a motorcycle in the shed around back.
I replied. When we got to the shed, the door was ajar. We approached it slowly and carefully. I gently pushed the door open. There was no sign of the creature. I grabbed a gas can, filled up the motorcycle's gas tank. Luckily, the key was still in the ignition. The creature howled from the outside.
It knows where we are.
Said Tara. We hopped on the bike. I turned the key. The engine roared. I could see the creature's shadow outside. I stepped on the gas. We burst through the wooden wall of the shed. The bike's headlights shone brightly on the creature's gray fur, which was stained with blood. We raced towards it. The creature just stood there. We were about to hit it when it jumped out of the way. The engine roared as we turned on the road. I turned around. The creature was running after us with amazing speed. We raced towards town, hoping to find help. The end.
Yay!
It wasn't highlighted, so I was paying attention.
Thank you. I apologize if I missed.
Don't be sorry about shit, dude.
I really like this room.
This is a great room.
Was this a QVC ad?
You can buy this
In
mahogany table.
I'm supposed to be searching for a killer, but I'm just gonna sit here for a minute and admire
this room.
I mean, goddamn, look at that lacquer.
The mahogany. Really well done.
So that brings us to the end of the Haunted House series from what I have available to read so far. We have more to read, but we're going to take a break as we figure out where we're going from here. We're going to come back and join us in just a minute. All right, we're back from our last little break. Now we're going to move on to something a little different. We're going to mix things up here. For this next series of stories, it's broken down into 6 chapters, I believe. But instead of horror, we're going to shift to the world of sci-fi with a little. You know what? I'm just going to leave it for the listeners to pick up on the crossover here. But it's a sci-fi story I wrote in 6th grade, I think. So
I think
enjoy.
Yes, exactly. I was thinking, it was like, there's a certain cartoon that came out around that time.
Okay.
You know?
Gargoyles, right?
For reference, what year were you in the 6th grade? What year was that?
I want to say, let's see, 92?
92.
92.
93.
It's
Okay.
before the cartoon.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh.
Should I go?
Shit.
Should I go Cobra Commander for Ben?
No.
Okay.
No.
I don't know. I want to hear Cobra Commander for somebody. So, because you do a pretty,
BJ's the evil general.
you do a pretty good Cobra Commander.
Do BJ as
All right.
Cobra Commander.
Deal. So
All right.
Ben will be Brock. Gotcha.
All right, here we go. This is just. I'm not even gonna read the title. Chapter 1: The Chase. The year is 2010. The future.
Oh, one of my favorite Conan bits.
I love that. Yeah, that was good. 6 friends were cruiser in Marshall's new Star Cruiser.
Star Cruiser.
They were coming home from a totally rad movie.
Totally fucking rad.
When the Galactic Army attacked,
Oh, shit.
they were blasted into a time warp.
No.
Where are we?
Asked Ben. But Ben wasn't Ben. He was an elf that could teleport. They were all different. Marshall had claws that could cut steel. Zach could control the weather. Casey looked like RoboCop. And Pat could run like the Flash. All of a sudden, the Galactic Army started shooting their large guns at them. Mike shot one ship down with his laser beam. Zach made a tornado that sucked up 3 starships. Then the ground soldiers came and started shooting at us. Casey took out his bazooka and blew half of them away.
Oh, there's too many of them.
Yelled Pat. They ran. They found an abandoned Star Blaster. They hopped in and started it up. It ran like a beaut. The army was on their tail. BJ was leading the army. He ordered them to fire on the kids, so they did. A laser beam hit the Star Blaster. The kids were going down.
Abandoned Star Blaster!
Yelled Marshall, so they jumped out. They landed in a lagoon. Casey almost sunk, but they pulled him out. The Galactic Army fouled them into the forest. Casey was making too much noise.
Will you be quiet? You don't want to blow away the galactic. You don't want to be blown away by the Galactic Army,
said Marshall. Casey picked up Marshall by the neck and said,
Shut up, shrimp, I'll wring your puny neck.
He dropped him. Marshall jumped back up and said,
You forgot one thing, you piece of tin. I have claws that can cut through steel.
Casey punched Marshall in the stomach before he could attack.
Ha! My ribs have been broken. Unbreakable bones,
said Marshall. Marshall got back to his feet and jumped at Casey. He cut Casey on the arm. Then a bazooka shot Casey and blew him to pieces.
It's the Galactic Army!
Yelled Ben. They ran further into the dark woods. The kids found themselves in the mothership. It was full of galactic soldiers. They hid behind a Star Blaster when the army that was chasing them walked in.
Marshall, do you think we can get out of here alive?
Asked Mike. The galactic platoon saw the group of teens and attacked them. Mike fired his laser beam from his eyes, killing 3 soldiers. Zach made a lightning bolt strike a soldier, frying him. He was smoking. Pat grabbed a pipe and ran out and hit the soldier on the head, killing him.
Tunk.
Then the soldier shot Pat with a laser rifle. They ran away, but in the control room, the leader saw the kids, so she sent an army after them. Mike shot his beam, killing 5 soldiers. Then the army came up from behind and captured them.
Hey, you wrote this, dude.
I know!
Xanax.
How do you spell this?
Zalzania threw them in prison.
XYLZANYA.
Yep, that's it. Threw them in prison. Then the kids heard this on the intercom. Blasting off for Mars.
Mars with a Z. Mars with a Z.
You know, because it's dope and urban and shit. You know, Mars or Mars.
Chapter 2. The Escape. The 4 captured kids are sitting in their cell when Mike said,
The heck with this cell.
He melted the bars with his laser beam. The alarm was set off, so they ran for cover. The soldiers came looking for the kids. Mike fired his beam, killing 7 of them. Ben climbed the wall and drop-kicked a soldier. Then a soldier fired at Ben. He teleported in the nick of time.
Bam.
Ben found himself in the main control room. Zizania put him in the pit of despair.
Get my name right.
Ben teleported back to us. The Galactic Army was down to 500 out of 1,000.
I love how specific you are
They
about numbers.
overpowered us.
Sorry.
Yelled Mike. Zach made a sandstorm to help them get away. They ran to find a way out of the ship. Then they heard, landing on Mars, landing on Mars.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
They all said at the same time.
Okay.
Take two.
1, 2, 3.
Landing on Mars.
Uh-oh.
They all said at the same time.
It's space slang. You guys aren't ready for it yet.
They found a Star Blaster on the launching pad, so they got in and flew out of the ship. The Galactic Army opened fire on the teens. They managed to maneuver the Star Blaster out of the line of fire. A Star Raider started to chase them. Zach made a lightning bolt strike the Star Raider, making it go down. Marshall turned around and yelled, An army of Star Raiders. The kids turned around and cruised off.
Bye.
The Galactic Army took over Mars and turned it into a giant galactic empire.
Sweet.
We had to go by foot so we wouldn't attract too much attention. Ben teleported into the Galactic Army's base. He found himself in the lookout tower. A guard saw Ben. Ben jumped to the ceiling. The guard ran right into the wall, face first. Ben grabbed 2 laser rifles, one for himself and one for Marshall, then teleported back to them.
Look out!
Marshall said, a Star Raider came out of the launching pad. The boys ran into the launching pad room before the doors closed. Ben ran into the door. He teleported into the base.
Bam.
Marshall led the group of boys. A group of soldiers saw them. The soldiers charged him. The boys fired their guns like crazy, killing only 13 soldiers. Marshall... Only.
We're bad shots.
Marshall leapt at a soldier, killing him with his claws.
Star Trooper.
Mike fired his beam, killing 7 soldiers. Zach made a tornado. It sucked up 11 soldiers. Ben shot one with his gun.
Ben got one.
Marshall sliced a soldier in the stomach with his claws, killing him. The boys ran for the Star Raider and rode off. But as they lifted off, a soldier hit the engine. The boys' Star Raider went down. They got out and ran for cover. BJ yelled, "After them!" The soldiers got in their Imperial Star Crawlers. Zach made a wind and thunderstorm to help them get a good getaway. The soldiers still followed them. Mike fired his beam, blowing up one Star Crawler. Marshall said,
"Come on, we can climb that mountain."
The boys followed him.
Finally, we reached the top.
Said Ben.
Their star crawlers can climb mountains too.
Yelled Marshall. The Galactic Army was coming up after them on all sides. The boys were surrounded by the Galactic Army with no place to go.
The army's gaining up fast. What are we gonna do?
Asked Ben. End of chapter. Chapter 3.
Action, dude.
The challenge. The Star Crawlers reached the top of the mountain. The kids had no hope at all. The army opened fire, killing Ben. He fell off the side of the mountain. BJ got out of his Star Crawler and said,
I challenge your leader in a fight in 3 days.
I accept your challenge.
Said Marshall.
To make sure you come, we'll take your 2 friends with us.
Said BJ. They crawled off, leaving Marshall by himself on the mountain. Day 1. Marshall... Marshall built a house out of wood, then made a practice room.
Oh.
He sharpened his claws. Then he practiced in his room.
A montage.
Exactly. Montage. Marshall could now do 3 flips in a row in the air. 7 handstand flips in a row very fast. And he could jump higher than his own height.
We're gonna need a montage.
Marshall made a spear for hunting.
You have claws.
Yeah, I know.
It's he doesn't want to do a vulgar display of power.
Right.
You know?
Nice Pantera reference.
And we're back.
Day 2. On the second day, he did the same thing he did on the first day.
Practice makes perfect.
Day 3. On the third day, Marshall made his way to the Galactic Army's base. He finally made it. Marshall walked in. No one was in sight. Marshall opened a door. He walked in. He was in a dark and empty room. Then the spotlights came on abruptly. There stood BJ, Mike, and Zach were tied up in a net in the air. About 5 feet away was a platform. On the platform were spikes and other sharp stuff on it.
Man, you could get tetanus.
All over the walls were galactic soldiers ready for battle. BJ had guns in both hands. He opened fire on Marshall. Marshall jumped out of the way of the fire. BJ punched at Marshall. Marshall kicked at BJ. Kicked BJ in the gut before he got hit. BJ flew to the ground, dropping his guns. BJ got back to his feet. Marshall punched him in the face, making him fall back down. Marshall drew his claws and cut BJ to pieces.
Oh, my pieces.
Marshall cut down Mike and Zach. Then the soldiers opened fire on the 3 kids. Mike fired his beam, killing 5 soldiers. The kids ran for the door, but Zach got shot in the leg. They dragged Zach out of the room. Zach made a windstorm that made the soldiers run away. The kids got a good getaway. Xylania now. I changed the spelling apparently. Xylania.
That's easier.
Xylania saw this on the movie screen. On the movie screen. She sent her best men after them.
Get after them.
The boys got out of the base. When the soldiers found them and opened fire, Mike fired his beam, killing 2 soldiers. The soldiers shot at Zach, hitting him in the arm. The kids ran for their lives. The soldiers ran after them, firing their guns. Mike turned around and fired his beam, killing 4 soldiers.
Follow me!
Yelled Marshall. The 2 boys ran for Marshall's hut in the woods. The boys made it to the woods safely.
I think we lost him.
Marshall said. Mike and Zach sat down on the ground. Mike set Zach down on the ground carefully. Zach was bleeding heavily. Marshall ripped off his shirt sleeves and wrapped them around his wounds.
What's that?
Asked Mike. A half-human, half-animal thing jumped out at us.
Who are you?
Asked Marshall. Then all of a sudden, a person with metal wings flew down. The blue thing said,
I'm Aaron, the Beast, but you can call me Beast. And the Flyboy is my friend Scott. His wings are razor sharp, yo.
Bang, 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 bang! Duck! Yelled Marshall. The Galactic Army came into sight with heavy-duty guns right in the boy's face. They were surrounded by soldiers with no place to go. Chapter 4, The Big Battle.
This is the big battle?
Baby, that was all 4 of them.
I wonder how many numbers. Marshall killed 3 soldiers. Ben killed 12 soldiers. I can't wait to hear.
I need to go through here and find the body count.
Should I be keeping count?
Hey, Cincinnati Jeff, if you're listening to this, do a body count for me. Give me a body count.
Or any of the listeners.
Or any of the listeners who are listening to this.
What's that hotline number?
7404-SUCK-IT. You can call and leave us the body count.
What's that number one more time?
7404-SUCK-IT.
That's right. If you think you can count things.
Oh, which, by the way, before I go into Chapter 4, The Big Battle, I wanted to shout out, I forgot this at the beginning of the show, we have now updated again our merchandise store of new shirts.
Oh, did you now?
Man, like we have an advertisement before the big battle.
Damn right.
All funds go to support the
Gotta
rebels
hook 'em,
fighting against
Aaron,
the
you gotta
Galactic
hook 'em.
Empire.
No,
Commercial break before the
true
big-
talk though. I did visit that. I got me some stickers and that sweet pint glass.
Yes,
with,
the Nachos McWerew's.
Nachos McWerew's pint
Oh,
glass.
Speaking
It's
of,
pretty
you can
awesome.
also get yourself a Nachos McWerew's alternate Horrible Horror logo T-shirt on the site now as well. I added more T-shirts which are of a different material than the previous ones, so they're about half the price and very much the same designs, but just a different material, so they're a little cheaper. And you can also get the Nachos McWerew's alternate logo on that shirt as well. If
I
you
like
would
that one. That's my favorite.
I need a print. I need a print of that. That'd be sweet.
Imagine how dope you would look fighting the Galactic Empire in the Nachos McWerewolf alternate horrible horror.
Yes!
Goddamn right.
I mean,
dope.
do you have
Goddamn
any-
right.
Do you have any voicemails by chance?
This is the Horrible Horror Podcast. We don't like Nachos McWerewolf.
Hey, the fans don't either.
I love you, buddy.
I know.
All right.
You're my Sherpa.
All right, Chapter 4, The Big Battle.
I've seen
Aaron jumped on Scott's back. Mike and Marshall grabbed Scott's legs. Scott grabbed Zach in his arms, and they flew off into the sky and got away. The 5 boys flew to Marshall's hut, which is weird because we were just there.
They did a lap.
They did a lap.
It's fine.
When they got to the hut, Marshall saw some people in it. He ran in and found 2 girls in there.
Hi.
One girl had a white stripe down the middle of her hair.
Oh shit.
The other girl had blonde hair,
Call me
Hi.
Skunk Tip.
said one of the girls.
I'm Lizzie, and this is my friend Heather.
Lizzie had brown hair, and Heather had the blonde hair.
I can control people's minds. And Heather can make things blow up just by like pointing at it.
Said Lizzie.
I'm Marshall, and this is Max, Zach, Aaron, and Mike, and Scott.
Are you sure your name isn't Mike?
Pretty sure it's Scott.
You said Max or something like
Oh.
that. Mike.
Mike, Zach, Aaron, and Scott. There we go.
Boom, 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 boom. Bombs blowing up all over the place, coming closer to the hut.
Aaron, Scott, Lizzie, Heather, grab a gun, run!
Yelled Marshall. They ran out of the hut. Scott flew into the sky to look around. He saw warships bombing the forest. Scott fired 5 times, hitting the ship.
Zach
The
times 5.
The ship fired back at Scott. Scott flew out of the way. Scott flew away, leaving his friends.
What a dick.
Oh, dick move.
The 6 friends ran for the city of Juggernaut.
Not even like Karak or whatever. We're just, okay, that's
This
fine.
city, this juggernaut city.
The city of Marco Key.
Juggernaut.
City of Compton. Okay, we're back.
The warships flew after them. The warships warped the kids up onto the deck.
And that was complete.
All
The
right.
spelling is completely different again.
Every time.
It is canon.
Oh, it's even worse this time.
It's even worse.
Zymatab.
It's like some kind of funky prescription drug you can't pronounce.
The side effects are.
Inzalania walked in and said,
Let the battle that will determine the best army begin.
Then she disappeared and the army opened fire. They jumped out of the way. Mike fired his beam, killing 2 men. Marshall jumped to his shoulder with his claws out in front of him. He cut open the man. Aaron ran at 2 soldiers. He did a flying spin kick, killing one and almost killing the other.
Dude, I'll kick the shit out of you.
Heather pointed her finger at a group of 5 men. They blew up.
All of us are getting blown up.
Lizzie fired her gun, killing 3 men. Aaron punched a soldier in the temple, killing him.
Take that, dude.
A soldier shot at Zach, hitting Zach in the arm. Marshall charged at a man with his claws out in front of him. He sliced at the man, cutting him open. A soldier shot at Marshall, hitting his leg. Mike ran for Marshall. He picked him up and ran over to the wall and set him down. A soldier shot Heather in the back, killing her.
Oh, no!
Lizzie ran over to her. There's no sign of life. Lizzie was ticked off.
Now, I'm not good at math, but how does this work out?
She fired 4 rounds, killing 50 soldiers.
So they were like in a pyramid position, I'm assuming, right?
I assume telekinetics, maybe.
They were.
Lizzie's dad was like totally a Marine, so she's like got a sure shot.
I love the smell of pepperoni.
A soldier fired at Zach, hitting him in the forehead, killing him.
Oh, shit.
There is blood all over his head. A soldier charged at Marshall. Marshall sliced at him, cutting him open. He dropped dead.
I'm dead.
Mike scooped up a soldier above his head and threw him about 6 feet into the control panel. Then Mike turned around and fired his beam, killing 6 men. A soldier shot Aaron in the leg and then in the stomach and head, killing Aaron.
Oh, fuck! Oh, man. My leg, my stomach, and my head.
Then the kids found themselves back in Juggernaut. The kids ran for the edge of town.
Let's get out of here.
When they got there, they saw Scott lying on the ground. He was cut, shot, and tortured.
Jesus.
He was dead.
Oh my God.
The kids heard a loud noise. They looked up and saw 15 Star Destroyers.
God damn!
End of chapter 4.
To everybody reading, Marshall, this is fuck book on tapes. We are on to some new things.
15 started.
We're so fucked.
For whoever's keeping count at home.
Seriously, Audible.
Seriously, Aaron is crying right now. Like, literally
I have snot running down my nose.
I think he took some edibles for this Audible.
This podcast is brought to you by
My
Audible.
endorphin count is like through the motherfucking roof, dude. I'm gonna have like that ecstasy E-Lab shit for the next month. I just fucking rang out my serotonin and shit.
Oh, my God.
Deep breath. Deep breath.
All right.
And scene.
Chapter
And
5.
scene. Okay.
Mike's capture.
Oh, Mike.
Look how you look at
Oh,
me.
damn it, Mike.
The warships flew into outer space. A pack of wild dogs charged Marshall. Marshall jumped out of the way. Then a gunshot blew and a wild dog fell dead. A man ran out with a survival knife and a gun. He was about to cut open the dog when Marshall jumped out and slammed the man's head to the ground and sliced his neck.
Dang.
Why did you do that for, Marshall?
Asked Mike.
I can't stand to see an innocent animals killed for fun.
Marshall said. Bang, 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 bang! Guns going off everywhere. The kids ran for cover. The wild dogs were dropping like flies. The teens ran for their lives. The gunners ran after them, firing their laser guns. The teens split up and went 3 different ways. The snipers followed after each of them.
Snippers?
Mike felt snippers. Yeah, snippers. Followed each of them. Mike fell into a pit.
Oh shit.
The gunners trap worked. Mike was caught. Lizzie found a cave behind some trees and hid in it.
Ow.
The gunners ran right past her. Lizzie followed the cave. Marshall stopped running and turned around to see if they were still following him. The gunners came running around the corner, aiming their guns at him. Marshall jumped into a pond. He found himself in a cave spring. Lizzie found Marshall in the spring. It started to rain and blow very hard.
Oh, it
Did it?
did blow
Did it
very
blow hard?
hard.
It's getting kind of sexy to hear.
My glasses are steaming up, and I don't even wear them.
They both were worried about Mike. Marshall found some canned food in an old backpack. He cut it open. Lizzie started a fire.
That's not what he
Lizzie
said.
and Marshall were forced to live in the cave. The rain ended 5 days later. Marshall got up and walked outside. The woods were soggy and moist. Lizzie was still asleep. Marshall made breakfast. The 2 months were spent looking for Mike. One day, Lizzie went out to get berries when she saw Mike's visor laying on the ground. Lizzie ran back to the cave. They both thought Mike was dead.
Was it ruby quartz by chance?
It might have been ruby quartz.
2 months?
Or
You didn't find them.
Lizzie and Marshall walked back to Juggernaut to find a job. Lizzie found a job working at a clothing store. Marshall worked at a hospital as a surgeon.
Of course.
I call bullshit for Lizzie.
He has built-in scalpels.
That was
Marshall
exactly
knows
the
what he's doing.
I love she works retail. And Marshall's just
Wait, what was Lizzie's power set? Bring it to
I
speed.
feel so totally attacked.
Super strength?
I feel like no, like I could like see things. And,
She
like,
could control minds.
So she's a politician.
I totally work in this clothing store where like I totally have like commissions, and so
Yes.
when you walk in, I'm like, bitch, you need those jeans.
I make my boss think like I'm the best employee.
You're doing the subliminal messaging from Phantom of the Mall.
It's all about sales, bitch.
How's that song go?
Is he just a retard in a broken hockey mask?
Welcome back, Aaron.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
All right.
Sorry.
One day a letter came in the mail for Marshall and Lindsay from Mike. It read,
Dear friends, I've been caught by the army. Please come and get me. Your friend, Mike. P.S. Be careful.
Lizzie and Marshall ran home to get ready. They grabbed 2 guns, food, a knife sharpener, and 2 laser-proof vests.
Laser-proof vest.
perfect.
Oh, you guys don't have those? Okay.
Then they ran to a Star Cruiser dealer and bought one.
With that retail money, yo. Sorry, I'm gonna shut up. Go ahead, Mark. I'm
Sales
sorry.
is the shit.
Then blasted off to go after Mike. When they reached the base, they blasted down the door. The inside guard fired at Lizzie. Marshall jumped at the guard, trashing him. Then the army ran out of the doors, firing their guns at the 2 teens. The 2 teens jumped for cover. Then a big door opened, and it's changed again. Ex-Leozana walked in with Mike behind her.
Mike!
The 2 yelled. Mike opened fire on his 2 friends.
They must have brain drained him. Mike's too powerful for us.
Yelled Lizzie. End of chapter 5.
Side effects of Liz Roseanne is reading scripts you wrote in the fucking 7th grade. Of getting drunk.
This was
with a
6th
room
grade.
full of more.
Excuse me. This was 6th grade, sir.
Hey, you know what? It's better than I can write now.
Good God.
I mean, this is better than that Rob Zombie monster script.
You're
6th grade
committed.
would have been 1995.
No, 6th grade? I'm still
No,
91,
90.
92.
You're
Right,
talking about 92.
right,
Yeah,
right,
92.
right.
I've got snot running down my nose.
I'm sorry, but
Chapter 6.
BJ is having a blast while you're reading this.
Chapter 6. Mike's back.
He's back.
Mike's back! The teens ran for the door. Luckily, they made it out. The teens ran for the Star Blaster, but Mike blew it up with his beam. Lizzie killed 3 soldiers with 1 shot.
She is the shit.
Mike fired his beam at Marshall, but missed. The 2 teens found a cave, so they ran for it. The cave was dark. The teens could hear the army's voices coming closer, so they ran further into the cave. The soldiers followed them. Marshall heard water falling up ahead. It was a waterfall. The 2 dived in.
Of course.
The soldiers ran past them. When they came up for a breath, Mike was standing there in front of them.
Oh, shit.
Mike helped them out of the pool of water. Mike helped them out of the pool of water.
Come on, follow me.
Said Mike.
But you're on their side.
Said Marshall.
No, don't you see? It was all a trick on them. I made them think I was on their side.
Said Mike.
Mike seems a little unsure.
When you hear the chime, turn the page.
The kids ran for the cave entrance, but when they got there, it wasn't a pretty sight. The soldiers were everywhere, blocking the way out. One soldier saw the teens and opened fire on them. Mike flipped out of the way. Marshall tackled Lizzie out of the way. Mike fired his beam at the soldiers, killing 10.
Times 10.
A group of soldiers ran at them. Mike punched in the gut. Lizzie fired her gun, killing 1. Marshall hit 1 with the butt of his gun, killing him. After the fight, Mike, Lizzie, and Marshall ran back to the Army's base. When they got there, Mike made a plan. Once inside, Mike tied them up and took them to the bridge. Xanzalia.
Again, spelled completely different.
No consistency.
None. Saw that Mike caught Marshall and Lizzie alive. Just then, 3 soldiers from the cave ran in and said Mike has betrayed them. And with that remark, Marshall and Lizzie ripped out of their ropes. Lizzie blew away the 3 soldiers.
Zan Chinchilla?
Exile Land Zan La ran. The some 25 soldiers attacked the 3 teens.
Damn.
That is an odd number.
Mike killed 1 with his beam. Now, I believe if you actually count this up, it will equal 25.
Ooh, okay.
Mike killed 1 with his beam. Lizzie blew 5 soldiers away. Marshall sliced up 2 of them. 1 soldier shot Mike in the arm. Mike blew him away after he got shot. Lizzie blew 6 soldiers away.
No, just blew 6 soldiers.
Marshall
that's
thrust
hot.
his claws into the soldier's gut, killing him. Lizzie blew away 2. Marshall picked up 1 over his head and threw him up against the wall. Marshall sliced off the soldier's head. Lizzie zapped 2. Mike killed 1, and Marshall clawed the last one.
Scratch.
After the 3
Man,
kings
Lizzie
killed the
just blowing
25
soldiers,
soldiers,
though.
yeah. After 3 kings killed the 25 soldiers, the bridge looked like the old horror movie star Jason just left.
Technically, he's relevant in this future as Uber Jason.
Yeah,
It's neither here
it's
nor
about that
there.
time.
This is also 2010.
Yeah.
2000.
The 3 of them left to go hunt down Zenlana. After an hour of searching the huge ship, they found out that while they were fighting the army left, the 3 of them found the last Star Raider in the ship. After they got into the Star Raider, they flew off in pursuit of the army.
Bye.
End of chapter 6, and apparently I never finished the story or I got lost in time.
Oh, that is a fucking cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger.
Of cliffhangers.
I
Make
wanna
the
know-
ending up as you please.
I want to know what happens to Zalzanyanya. Like, she really had an important role. Nobody knew. She didn't say her name.
Did she say like 1 line, 2
I
lines?
got 1 line.
I think her like name changed every single
I think it
time.
did too.
Every time I wrote it.
It always started with an X.
Yeah.
It always started with an X, and it was just so whatever.
I got it. It's like Robin Hood, fucking Men in Tights. How what is his fucking name? His mole? Not Al
Oh,
Lewis.
the mole changed.
Richard Lewis.
Yeah.
How his mole.
Yeah.
I have a mole.
Prince John. Prince John. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm on the East Bay.
What's the next move?
All right. So
Hiatus?
that make up whatever ending you want for that, but that's the end of the untitled X-Men sci-fi crossover.
X-Men, you say?
I don't know where that came from.
Stan Lee's gonna sue somebody.
Hey, I never used any actual names.
Juggernaut, bitch.
Oh, I did use
You
Juggernaut.
can call me
Scott.
Beast.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm a beast. You can call me Beast.
it's not almost like TM Beast, trademark or whatever.
I remember when I wrote that, trying to come up with who was gonna be what character. I remember at the time, Aaron was a big Beast fan.
I was, yeah.
Because he's like his dad liked Beast too, so like bond over Beast. He was like, I'm really big into Beast. I'm like, all right, you're
Beast is
Beast then.
awesome, man.
I like Nightcrawler
Yeah.
and Gambit. Gambit's dope.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, I didn't have Gambit in that one.
Mon ami, Shadi.
Although I believe in the X-Men Mortal Kombat crossover, there is a Gambit. In that.
Oh damn.
That one will be a whole nother episode. That was 70 plus pages of writing I wrote.
Christ.
I mean, I
We
got.
gotta get ours.
Yeah, we're not doing that today. I haven't even typed that one up.
All right.
70 plus pages?
That was 70 pages, that one.
Get ready, y'all.
And that was in high school.
That was in high school. That was a high school one.
I would definitely
That's fanfic.
check with your
Perfectly
fans though.
normal.
See if they, listen to the episode.
Yeah.
And see if you guys like this. If you want to do more, we're having a great time.
Oh, we're doing more.
We're having an awesome time.
Maybe if the fans want to assign somebody needs to be blank or blah or blee.
That would be cool, but I'm not waiting that long because we're probably gonna record episode 2 right after this. We're just gonna move right on. Spoiler alert! I think we'll end this one here, and then we'll save the big ones, the big boys, for another episode because they're gonna take up more time, and I got something special planned for those.
When Cincinnati Jeff actually gets the douche, into his punani.
Yeah, to get all those maggots out.
Yeah, he's still not gonna be here for that because we're just gonna roll right into it.
Hey. No, don't give up the magic.
Alert.
The
Yeah.
magic of radio.
Yeah, radio.
Hey guys, I'm Cincinnati Jeff. Yeah, that's.
P.S. Is it so good? So bad it's good?
So bad it's good. Yeah.
I give it 10 out of 10 severed penises.
All right.
right.
Call the
That's a
hotline.
callback.
Tell us what you think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely
that's
call the
right.
outline. Let us
Call
know what you
the
think of this.
hotline.
But all right, thanks for joining this episode of Horrible Horror Masterpiece Theater.
We're not going with Trashterpiece Theater?
Whatever. It is what tomato tomato. But yeah, we'll be back with another. We're gonna do this again. We're just a round 2. But yeah, this is episode 1. And so thanks for listening. Hope you guys had as much fun as we did because this was a lot more fun than
It was a lot of fun.
And always
awesome.
Oh my
stay spooky and keep it
Wait,
tight,
now,
I guess.
Yeah. So yeah, stay spooky, keep it tight. We'll be back in a little bit.
Wash out vagina.